Let's check the roads now. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. It's a pretty smooth start to your afternoon ride. Just a couple of spots where you would expect some delays. Right around the stadium, either direction, 94 east and west, to be tapping the brakes right past American Family Field. And then we just have a little bit of volume, not a whole lot, but a little bit. You'll be tapping on 4145 south of Hampton to about Burleigh, and then northbound from Highway 100 up towards Capitol Drive. Everywhere else right now looking pretty good.
Got to correct myself here. I said the heat advisory for all of southeastern Wisconsin started at noon. It actually begins at noon tomorrow, but
could have fooled me.
Seriously. Still talking about a heat index of 98 today. So the feels like approaching 100, 94 the air temperature high. Clear, warm, and humid tonight, a low of 74. Heat index touching 100 degrees tomorrow. Similar situation on Wednesday. It's 92 in Milwaukee at 12:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Adam Roberts.
That's the Greg and Adam Show this week. Happy to have you along. Wisconsin's Midday News. It's July 13th. For all you check writers out there, happy National Beans and Franks Day to you, Adam.
Wow, how many other fun holidays are happening today that I don't know about?
Well, we'll explore them over the next 3 hours. Just getting started here on Wisconsin's Midday
News. It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Well, it's the return of the heat dome in Wisconsin. A strong upper-level ridge of high pressure is settled in over the upper Midwest, traps the hot air. It pushes temperatures 10 to 15 degrees above normal. So that means for the next 3 days at least, we're looking at temperatures in the mid-90s, that heat index topping 100. Not just the Midwest in this thing.
Anywhere from California all the way up into the northern plains, even into the Midwest, now expanding into Michigan and also areas of Wisconsin. That extreme heat will bring up temperatures into 100 degrees for International Falls. I do want to point that out. They haven't seen 100 degrees in over 100 years. That's right along the Canadian border. So impressive to see this heat moving way north and breaking some records, all-time records in Salt Lake City, along with areas of Billings, Montana.
That's ABC's Ginger Z. It's not a cooler by the lake situation here either. Looking at the extended forecast, the next day with a high temp not in the 90s is Saturday with a high of 88. The only heat-related bulletin is that advisory that begins at noon on Tuesday. But if you're out today, you're feeling it. There's no doubt about that. And quite frankly, yesterday was a little brutal, too, once you got into that mid to late afternoon hours.
And I don't think it helps that it's basically a double punch. We just came a few weeks ago out of a separate heat wave. I mean, it is summer. It is something you have to expect, but certainly not fun, for sure. Number 2, new this morning, the Milwaukee Metropolitan Sewerage District. We told you earlier this year they're making plans for an independent audit of their wastewater treatment facilities. This following allegations of mismanagement that were levied in April. Well, now we know who's going to be doing that audit. MMSD announcing today the group EMA Incorporated. They're based out of St. Paul, Minnesota. They're going to be reviewing the operations of Veolia North America, which is the company that runs both the Jones Island and South Shore facilities that handle all of our area's wastewater in Milwaukee and Oak Creek. They're also competing with a company based out of Dallas, Jacob Solutions, for a new contract expected to be worth north of $700 million when it's all said and done. So this audit's going to be wide-ranging, and an important note, they will not, MMSD, have any involvement directly. That was one of the, you could call it demands of this group Common Ground that raised a lot of these allegations of mismanagement earlier this year. I spoke with Commission Chair Corey Zetz in June, and she told me why MMSD changed its position. They originally were skeptical about doing an audit, and then they voted to approve one earlier this year.
We've been working on this behind the scenes, trying to understand the context that these allegations were made in, what information we have on this. But I think for a government entity, we've moved really quickly on getting this underway.
On that contract selection, it is still expected to happen around September between Veolia and Jacobs, and MMSD has not said whether this audit could delay that process.
And finally, the Senate returns to Washington, D.C. today under the cloud of the sudden death of South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham at the age of 71. Graham, considered one of the more powerful lawmakers in Washington. He died from an aortic dissection caused by cardiovascular disease. And now, A replacement must be found. Graham was up for re-election this year. In fact, he won South Carolina's Republican primary last month.
South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster now facing that difficult task of filling the Senate seat Graham commanded for more than 2 decades. President Trump saying he has someone in mind. The governor's pick will only finish out Graham's current term. State law mandating a special election to replace him on the ballot in November when he was up for re-election.
Graham was considered an expert on foreign policy. I want to dive into this more from the political standpoint. How does this work, right? Does the next person, do they become a caretaker for what Graham stood by, or do you have to look more long-term? And certainly the president's influence on, who he picks or endorses will go a long way in filling that position.
Yeah, absolutely.
12:13 on WTMJ. Summerfest numbers are in. The mayor's got a stance on 794. The MMAC is weighing in as well. Tim Sheehy joins us after this.
For more than a century, Curative Care has been helping children, adults, and families across southeast Wisconsin navigate developmental disabilities and find the support they need to thrive. Curative helps families every step of the way, from early childhood through adulthood, connecting parents with resources, providing guidance during challenging times, and creating a community where people truly belong. If you know someone who may be looking for answers and support for a loved one with developmental disabilities, visit curative.org today.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does, because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty, for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
People hear Horicon Bank and they think local instantaneously.
Over the years, was able to help them in their later years when they needed some care. So I would say that was cradle to grave experience for me.
We encounter precious moments like this all the time. We have a trust administration department that can help.
Our motto is together as a bank and as an organization, and then doing good.
There's amazing success stories of small business entrepreneurs who now are multi-million-dollar companies.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC. Heat advisory for all of southeastern Wisconsin begins at noon tomorrow. It lasts until 8 o'clock Wednesday night. Sunny, hot, humid today, 94 the high. The heat index topping out about 98 degrees. Not much relief tonight. The sun will go down, of course, but we remain warm and humid with a low of 74. Heat index at 101 on Tuesday, 100 on Wednesday. It's 94, feels like 1,000 in Milwaukee at 12:16. And our Economic Spotlight is sponsored by Horicon Bank. Together doing good. HoriconBank.com, truly the natural choice, and member FDIC. Time for a weekly check-in with Tim Sheehy. He's always so cool. He is the way to beat the heat, right? Tim is always so cool. He's always very calm and composed. Welcoming him in on a hot day. Hi, Tim.
Thank you. Yeah, the only concern I have is making sure I don't have a hole in my plastic pool.
You don't need that. You don't need that. Tim, I know, and in full disclosure, you are a Summerfest board member. So when the news came out about Summerfest and their attendance yesterday, I instantly thought of you. You wanted to touch on it today. So core attendance for the 9 days of Summerfest, this is not including the Garth Brooks concerts, about 569,000. That is a slight decrease over 2025. I wonder, from your standpoint, is the board satisfied with the volume under the 3-weekend format this year?
Yeah, I think our focus is really on quality, not quantity, right? We want to make sure that everybody coming down there has a great experience. The numbers are affected by lots of things, weather. We had a couple concert cancellations. So those are all a factor. But the most important thing is that people that come down there, the 500,000-600,000 people that come down there, have a good time. 13% of those attendees got in free. We supported over 400 nonprofit organizations, and there are more than 600 sponsors. So the public side of Summerfest, I think, is doing really well. And we are a nonprofit, so this isn't about making money, but we also want to make sure going forward that Summerfest has the resources to maintain the property, to build a reserve, to take care of its debt, and then to compete in the future in an environment where the venues, events, and the concerts become more and more challenging to put on.
When you think about maintenance versus growth, Tim, when it comes to how many people are going to Summerfest, is there such thing in your eyes or the board's eyes as this magic number? Somewhere north of, we're concerned that not enough people are coming to the festival, but south of, man, there's just too many people. It's hard to move around. And if so, what do you think that number is?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And we do have to remember that Summerfest has gone from 11 dates to 9 dates. And so I think the sweet spot is this range we're in between, 550 and 650,000 people. And again, depending upon how the grounds are managed and what's going on, the important thing to us is, like any rating, if you go to a restaurant and you come back and the restaurant was packed, but you had a poor experience, you're not going back. So we want to make sure that the grounds and not only Summerfest, but the festivals that happen throughout the summer are well received by the patrons that come to enjoy it.
Hey, Tim was looking at the schedule for next year. It looks like it's going to be extending a little further into the month of July. Is there a reason for that, or is it just kind of how the calendar falls, taking into consideration when the 4th of July lands?
Yeah, it's really when the calendar, when the dates fall on the calendar, trying to keep in the proximate same weekends that we do, availability of the artists that are coming in. And, some people will be disappointed that it isn't open on the 4th, but the 4th has been historically a really tough day for Summerfest. That's not really where people tend to want to spend their time on the 4th of July. So I think it'll actually be helpful that weekend is running the 1st to the 3rd and not on the 4th.
Future of 794 remains a hot topic here, Tim. Last week, Mayor Cavalier Johnson stated that in his heart of hearts, he wanted to bring the freeway down to street level for development, but a deeper analysis showed some of the negatives outweighed the benefits, citing traffic gridlock and even freight traffic potential.
We've had decades of established traffic patterns, and that has limited our ability to make dramatic changes here.
The Greater Milwaukee Committee backed the mayor's thought process. What is the MMAC's position?
Yeah, so MMAC's been working on this for years, and we're very supportive of the mayor's decision and kind of glad he made a decision with his head, not his heart. I think the one thing that we need to remember is that the city doesn't sit in isolation, nor does the surrounding Metro Milwaukee area. They're really knit together from the standpoint of being an economy. So it's really important that the people in the region can get to the jobs that exist in the city and have access. So it's that knitting of those two that make for the decision that I think the mayor has come to recognize, where we're improving I-794. It opens land, but it still creates a viable path to get people in and out and through downtown. The other advantage is it's going to cost somewhere between $250 and $450 million less. That's not a reason to choose this option, but it's certainly a part of the decision-making process.
Tim, when the mayor unveiled his public opinion last week, he told WTMJ at the presser he believes his opinion as the mayor holds major sway. Obviously, this is in your city where this would potentially be happening, but could you see a scenario, because the state is the one that has to make the final say on this, the Department of Transportation, could you see a scenario where the DOT makes a decision that could go against the mayor's opinion?
I mean, I could see that, but I doubt that, because what the DOT has learned from its extensive study falls right in the hands of and where the mayor's decision came out. It really supports this hybrid option. It helps, again, knit people coming into the city with the ability to develop the city. It's more efficient. And the other thing that we have to keep in mind, and again, it's one part of the decision, but access to Summerfest, access to Brewer games and Bucks games, those are all things that are affected by the development of 794. And so those are just additive reasons why I think the mayor's decision was the right one, not only for the city, but for the region's economy.
Interesting nugget here, Tim. A new review of Milwaukee and 24 peer cities shows that since 1900, Milwaukee mayors have the longest tenure. What does that mean to you? What do you pull apart from that nugget?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question, and I want to credit Isaac Rowlett for this interesting review of the tenure of mayors going back to 1900. And just to put a footnote on this, he looked at 24 cities comparable size to Milwaukee since 1900. And the thing that jumped out at me is that the average tenure for a mayor in other cities is about 5 years. In Milwaukee, it's double that at 10 years, which means where most cities on average have had 25 mayors since 1900, we've only had 12. So you can kind of look at this both ways. One is it's created stability and leadership in the city. And the other side of it, I think people question, is Milwaukee a little averse to change? Once we get a mayor in there, are we reluctant to move them out if they're not doing a good job? So it's a really interesting, I think, characteristic of Milwaukee that we've had relatively stable leadership since 1900, only 12 mayors.
How much also, Tim, do you think that could be just that it's difficult, especially in politics, to buck precedent? Like you think about President George Washington deciding not to seek a third term, that set a precedent for hundreds of years, and maybe there's some of that here as well, where there is this precedent to keep our mayors longer than maybe some of our peer cities.
That's true. And the other way to look at this is some of the faster growing cities are the ones that have the least tenure. So, for example, Phoenix has had 39 mayors in the time we've had 12. Fort Worth, 38, Charlotte, 34, Memphis, 32, Dallas, 33. So cities that are growing and expanding faster than Milwaukee is maybe have a different dynamic. And as they grow, maybe they bring in, a different mix of voters. So it's an interesting question. I would say that Milwaukee's been well served by the stability of the mayors that have been in there. But again, it's an interesting part of our makeup and our character.
Tim Sheehy joins us every Monday here at about 12:15 with our Economic Spotlight presented by Horicon Bank. Always good stuff, Tim. We'll do it again next week. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Stay cool.
You do the same. 12:25 here in WTMJ. Just getting started here. Wisconsin's Midday News until 3 o'clock. Find our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe. Wisconsin's Midday News podcast is built by Siding Unlimited.
Point.
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at Metamucil.com.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Summer always starts with good intentions.
Kids home from school, weekend trips, more time outside.
But somehow the house is in complete chaos by June.
That's why summer is the perfect time to get organized with Inspired Closets.
We create custom solutions for garages, pantries, laundry rooms, and more, so your home works better for real life.
And when everything has a place, summer feels a whole lot less stressful.
Visit us today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house. Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Coming up on 12:30, I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, July 13th. Your top story, another blast of summer heat across the Midwest.
I'm Adam Roberts. Milwaukee police search for a driver in a late-night hit-and-run.
So a heat advisory for all of southeastern Wisconsin officially goes into effect at noon on Tuesday and expires at 8 o'clock on Wednesday night. However, we're still feeling the effects of that today. It's not triggered any warning or advisories, but sunny, hot, and humid today, high 94, heat index topping out at 98. Conditions tonight, clear, warm, very humid, a low of 74 degrees, not much relief after the sun goes down. Tuesday, mostly sunny, very hot. We trigger that advisory until 8 o'clock on Wednesday because the heat index will get north of 100 degrees with an air temperature of 98. It's currently 94 in Milwaukee at 12:30.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Senate lawmakers returning this afternoon following the sudden death of Senator Lindsey Graham. Preliminary findings from the medical examiner shared by the 71-year-old's office shows Graham died from a tear in his aorta stemming from heart disease. The GOP-led Senate also dealing with the absence of Senator Mitch McConnell, who was hospitalized last month. Here's ABC's Jay O'Brien.
For 4 weeks, Mitch McConnell's office did not disclose his health condition or why he was hospitalized. But then yesterday, they released a photo of McConnell and his wife Elaine Chao and a statement from McConnell explaining that he had a fall, he was briefly unconscious, and then he was treated for a mild case of pneumonia. He was then moved, McConnell says, from the hospital to a rehab facility.
The U.S. and Iran trading strikes and now blocking the Strait of Hormuz again. President Trump, in an interview with Fox and Friends, says the U.S. will become the guardians of the strait and charge a toll. That uncertainty driving stocks lower today. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:31.
A dome of hot air bringing another summer heat wave across the Badger State. Storm Team 4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson.
You'll see our high temperatures actually will top out in the mid and upper 90s, and there are some spots tomorrow. As long as the dew points remain a little bit lower, we could actually see air temperatures close to or even just over 100 degrees.
That heat advisory once again begins tomorrow at noon for all of southeastern Wisconsin.
Police in Milwaukee actively searching for a driver involved in a deadly hit and run on the city's north side late last night. Investigators say 2 women were crossing the street near Teutonia and Vienna when they were struck by a speeding vehicle. Both victims died at the scene. The suspect, police say, was driving a black SUV.
A woman is dead after a drowning in Lake Michigan.
The 80-year-old woman from the Sheboygan area was found floating unconscious near Juniper Drive and Evergreen Drive in the town of Wilson. Nearby residents told the Sheboygan County Sheriff's Office they saw her walking in the water yesterday afternoon. Authorities say she likely drowned accidentally or had a medical event while in the water. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A forced evacuation at a Brookfield hotel last night where guests were told to leave the building after smoke filled up parts of it. Crews say a malfunctioning HVAC unit sent the smoke through the 5-story Sheraton on South Moreland Road, triggering multiple smoke alarms. Firefighters then ventilated the building. Guests were allowed back inside and no one was hurt.
Summer vacation plans can be a target for hotel scammers. Consumer expert Michelle Reinen tells WTMJ booking a social media post or an advertisement link, not a great idea.
If you're clicking links or looking at any online website promos, you have to be careful to be sure that that URL doesn't include things like booking or reservation with the name, because that can often get you to an imposter website that a scammer is controlling.
Reinen also recommends calling a hotel directly to confirm a reservation that's been booked online.
A much-needed break for the Brewers begins today. Sports, traffic, and weather on the way next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:33.
Oh, man, it's getting so expensive to dine out, but not at the Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. There is free pizza today at the Mineshaft. Every Monday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza free. Buy 2 pizzas, get 2 free. Buy 5, get 5. You buy 100 pizzas, you get 100 pizzas for free. The best Monday dining value anywhere. Business owners and managers bring in pizza for your loyal employees and clients. Your second pizza is free. Your employees are going to love it. It's great pizza. Coaches, bring in your team for free pizza. Your kids and grandkids can safely play in that huge game room. It's quietly tucked away from the dining area. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mineshaft. Order now for your employees and pick up your hot pizza shortly, or dine in the cool and comfortable Mineshaft restaurant in beautiful downtown Hartford or near the EAA in Oshkosh. Mondays are tough enough. Don't cook. Buy one pizza today, get one free. MineshaftRestaurant.com. It's the amazing Mineshaft.
Set sail on an unforgettable adventure with Royal Caribbean. During the Fox exclusive July sale, you can lock in the best dates and rates for your next cruise. Experience maximum thrills and chill at sea with world-class dining, jaw-dropping entertainment, and stunning destinations from the Caribbean to Alaska. Book now to enjoy stackable discounts and secure your cabin only at Fox World Travel. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Don't wait. The sale ends July 24th.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You know, it's been more than 3 years since we got our garage door from J.D. Griffiths, and it still looks brand new. I'm telling you, it's quiet, it's smooth, and honestly, I didn't realize how much of a difference a quality door would make until we upgraded. J.D. Griffiths, they've been doing it for decades. They're local, trusted, and they handle everything. Try the website, jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ. Schedule your free consultation from J.D. Griffiths.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. After taking 4 of 5 against the Cardinals in St. Louis, the Brewers' road trip continued in Pittsburgh, where they dropped all 3 in that series, including a doubleheader on Saturday. Brewers now enter the All-Star break, with Pat Murphy hoping to get a little rest here after the Pirates were better than the Brewers in 3 games.
There's a lot of things went against us, but credit the Pirates. They did a great job pitching, and they did a great job of doing what they had to do.
William Contreras and Jacob Mizorowski are with the National League Club in Philadelphia for All-Star festivities. The Home Run Derby will be tonight, the actual game tomorrow. Miz will not pitch as he's battling some arm fatigue, choosing to rest rather than go on Sunday against the Pirates and in the All-Star game on Tuesday. And Summer League play continues for the Milwaukee Bucks tonight, taking on the Phoenix Suns. That game will tip off about 9 o'clock Central Time.
Let's get an update on your drive now, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Things largely the same from where we left you off around noon. Pretty nice drive shaping up this Monday afternoon. Only real slow spot's going to be as you head south on 4145 right through the construction zone where you would see typical delays. That remains the case today. Appleton Avenue is right around where they begin, and they cease as you head south just south of Capitol Drive. Northbound from Highway 100 up towards Burla, you'll tap the brakes and then you are good to go. Only other spot where we do have a little bit of a slowdown is going to be on 94 heading west past the stadium. Right about 35th Street's where the delays begin. Once you get past Mitchell Boulevard, you are free and clear.
Well, heat advisory goes into effect at noon tomorrow and expires at 8 o'clock Wednesday evening. Tuesday appears to be the nastiest of the days here, but today is not very pleasant. 94 right now, feels like 98. Tomorrow's situation, and we could actually hit 100 with our air temperature, pushing the heat index comfortably over the 100-degree mark. So be cautious if you have to spend any time outdoors. Limit your activities outdoors, as we don't get much of a break at night here with a low of 74. We're in it really in the 90s for the bulk of the week here in southeastern Wisconsin. Well, the Senate returns to Washington, D.C. today under a heavy cloud after the sudden death of South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham at the age of 71. Graham, considered one of the more powerful lawmakers in Washington. He died from an aortic dissection caused by cardiovascular disease. He was up for re-election this year, and he won South Carolina's Republican primary rather handily last month with nearly 60% of the vote. So what happens now? ABC News Deputy Political Director Ben Siegel joins us from the nation's capital. Ben, from a policies and procedures standpoint, what happens next?
It's really a two-step here. There is a immediate step to name a replacement, and that'll be done by the governor of South Carolina, Henry McMaster, and that person will finish out Graham's term. And then on August 11th, South Carolina voters will have a primary to replace him on the ballot because Lindsey Graham was up for re-election. In November, the party needs a new Republican to stand in that race, and that'll be, for the next 6 years for a new term. So, the big question hanging over all of this is who does President Trump support for this role or for the two roles? We know that he has somebody in mind, but we haven't shared that yet. So that is looming over this process.
How impactful will the Trump endorsement be in this situation?
Well, I think it is the end game. I mean, President Trump has been slipping nationally in some polls, but he's still incredibly popular and influential in Republican primaries, still a kingmaker in that regard. So it's hard to imagine anybody winning a primary without his support. But it's also possible that his endorsement could clear the field. There's probably no shortage of Republicans in South Carolina who want this seat. Lindsey Graham was in the Senate for a quarter century. This is a seat that people hang on to if they play their cards right for generations to wield influence and power in Washington. So there is no shortage of Republicans who want this seat. But depending on how President Trump throws his support and how he deploys that, this could be a crowded primary or this could be a pretty narrow primary, depending on who he supports and who else is interested.
Well, it's potentially a short-term appointment. So is the president looking for someone to be a caretaker of Lindsey Graham's ideas or to hit the ground running with their own platform?
Yeah, I think that's the big question. I think the one thing that everybody seems to agree on is that Lindsey Graham was a one-of-a-kind politician, in some ways a throwback to the deal-cutting era of the Senate, always in the center of negotiations between both parties. Even as he remained a staunch Republican, he still managed to get things done with Democrats. But at the same time, he knew where the winds were blowing in the Republican Party. He went from a Trump critic to a Trump loyalist and supporter. So was able to really navigate that dynamic in Washington and in the GOP in a way that really no other senator has been able to as skillfully. So, it'll be very hard to find somebody who will be able to fit that mold in that unique way. For South Carolina, most likely, regardless of who it is, this is going to be somebody who is a staunch conservative, supportive of the Trump agenda. But whether it'll be somebody who will also have sway with Democrats and the ability to maybe get his agenda through President Trump's Washington, that would be a taller order to find somebody of that regard.
Beyond that, Ben, what was Graham's thing? What was the thing that he really sunk into or became an expert on?
I think he really hung his hat on foreign policy, especially after the death of his friend and mentor, John McCain. He really became sort of the leader of this sort of old guard of Republican interventionists, hawkish advocates of American foreign policy abroad, especially in contrast to this younger generation of Republicans who are a little more skeptical of American force and American interventionism. This was somebody who supported the war in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, and then now the war in Iran. Somebody who for years was encouraging President Trump to use military force against Iran, but also to support Ukraine in the fight against Russia, to support NATO, to support the transatlantic alliance. He was also somebody who was active on immigration issues. He was a chairman of the Judiciary Committee. For a time, he pushed Supreme Court nominees through Congress for President Trump. So really had his fingers on everything and his hands on every issue in Washington. But of course, foreign policy is probably the place where his absence will be most acutely felt.
You mentioned the previous differences with the president. You go back to 2016, and Graham briefly had a run at the presidential nomination. He denounced President Trump as a, quote, race-baiting, xenophobic bigot who was unfit for office. And then after his passing, Donald Trump, the president, said Graham was like a family member. What changed? In some ways, it's about what didn't change. I mean, President Trump has not lost his standing in the Republican Party from 2016 unto this point, even, as he has won and lost office and faced all other manner of, political challenges since running for president in 2016. And nobody understood that better than Lindsey Graham, even as he was somebody who felt, publicly when he first ran for office that Trump did not represent what he considered the best of the Republican Party. Graham, like any talented politician, could read a room and could count votes. And this is somebody who is supported by the lion's share of Republican primary voters, supported twice by an overwhelming number of voters for president, and somebody who Graham decided he had to work with and was able to have some measure of influence over for a time. So he may have felt that way at the time. He certainly felt that he was done with Trump after January 6th. He, famously said, "Count me out," after the Capitol riot. But was also very quick to endorse Trump's reelection campaign. And when he was asked about that, he explained that, it's clear that this is Trump's race to lose. One of the key lessons from the last 10 years of politics, especially in Washington, is that, the Republican Party is President Trump's party. And to have any influence in it, to get things done in Washington as a Republican, you have to have the support of the president and be seen as supportive of the president. So that is really where, Lindsey Graham came down, even as he was able to work with Democrats across the aisle. Good. Connecting with ABC News Deputy Political Director Ben Siegel here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Ben, thanks for your time. Appreciate the insight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, coming up next, Miz on his way to Philadelphia, but not to the mound, at least not for the next week or so. What's the deal with the Miz? We analyze after this.
They pretty much weren't doing anything. I couldn't ride a bicycle. You don't have your life because you don't have your mobility.
So when Patrick heard about QC Kinetics and their non-invasive regenerative treatments for pain, no waiting, he called them immediately.
There's no downtime. There's no rehab. That was the tipping point for me. I didn't have to take any drugs. I didn't have to rehab.
Before considering surgery, check out QC Kinetics all-natural treatment options that restore and repair damaged joint tissue in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back.
If you have knee replacement surgery, and then the knee is not yours, and there's no guarantee that that's going to be successful.
QC Kinetics. Patients around the country are raving about the results. They're getting back their mobility, taking back their lives with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Vince Vitrano here with your HVAC guy, Urban Heating and Cooling. How much longer does that furnace have? Question to ask my man Ryan. His family-owned business with his wife Ellie, based in Franklin. They serve all of southeast Wisconsin. Now, what Ryan most wants to do is help you get as much life out of that furnace that you've already got. But when you have him in for a tune-up, now he can give you an honest assessment on how much longer that older unit will hold out. Free estimate is always part of the deal, so you know it will fit your budget. Tell him Vinny sent you when you call urbanheatingandcooling.com.
A riddle brought to you by Progressive Insurance. What do your home and auto have in common? Progressive protects them both. That was an easy riddle. Learn more at progressive.com.
Amish outdoor furniture with poly and wood available. And that poly is the richest of outdoor furniture. It's just about indestructible and will virtually last forever. At Erickson's, we have poly furniture in abundance, so you're guaranteed to see a great selection. The beauty of it is you can put it outside all year round and not worry about it, because the color runs all the way through, so it doesn't fade, and minor nicks and scratches won't hurt the look. Erickson's Landscape Supply. For an abundant selection of poly and wood Amish outdoor furniture, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. You'll be hard-pressed to find a better selection of metal yard art than we have here at Erickson's. Anything from natural and painted metal signs to painted roosters from 1 to 6 feet tall. Natural steel flying ducks and cattails. Cute little frogs, geckos, pigs, flamingos, and goats. And palm trees. The list is endless. And that's why you come here. Erickson's Landscape Supply, right on Spring Street in Union Grove, where you'll find a fantastic array of artisanal metal yard art. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Or better yet, drive on over and take a gander at the goods.
WTMJ's Jessica Ty for Steinhoffels. How does this sound? Upgrade your sleep and save on Beauty Rest at Steinhoffels. So nice, right? Right now, get a free foundation with your Beauty Rest mattress purchase. Queen start at only $1,499, or you can step up to the luxury of a Beauty Rest Black King adjustable base set and get $500 instant savings. Plus, with Steinhoffels 60-month financing, better sleep has never been more affordable. Don't overpay for a great night's sleep. Shop in store or online at steinhoffels.com. Relax. It's Steinhoffels.
Heat advisory goes into effect at noon tomorrow and expires at 8 o'clock Wednesday night. Today, not terribly comfortable outside. A high of 94. Heat index getting close to 100. 100 seems to be kind of the trigger point here because the heat advisory goes into effect at noon tomorrow, and that's when we should see that heat index approaching or exceeding 100 degrees. In fact, according to Brendan Johnson, the air temperature could make a run at 100 degrees tomorrow. So the feels like would be north of that. So we're in it here for the next several days with temperatures in the mid to upper 90s throughout the week. No real rain in sight until we get to Friday, potentially. It's 94 in Milwaukee. The feels like 98 at 12:49. So the Brewers hit the All-Star break. Pretty good start to the season here, you could say. In fact, we're beyond that. I know 59-37 is remarkable. So take what you learned of the Brewers over the last few days in Pittsburgh and just sort of flush that. Now, it's maybe not the best ending to a otherwise incredible first half of the season.
A sweep against the Pirates going into the All-Star break with the Brewers, a match made in heaven, it seems lately.
They've lost 3 games in 24 hours, too, with the way that doubleheader mapped out. But in a larger picture here, only the Dodgers have a better record in all of baseball. So kudos to the Brewers on an outstanding first half of the season. So the concern here now is with Jacob Misiorowski. Mm-hmm. So he enters the All-Star break leading the league in ERA, leading the league in strikeouts. Nobody can hit this guy, right? When he is at his best, he is better than any hitter right now in Major League Baseball, aside of maybe Shohei. He's in the Cy Young discussion, and with good reason. But he was scratched from his scheduled start on Sunday due to arm fatigue, and he is not scheduled to pitch the first series after the All-Star break against the Marlins.
He didn't recover well from his last start, and we owe it to him to take a little more time. So his arm doesn't feel great, his body doesn't feel great, and there's no imaging or none of that stuff going on. We're just giving him a rest, and he needs some time away from throwing right now. His throwing program today was a little clunky, and we just didn't like what we saw, and we're going to hold him out.
Brewers manager Pat Murphy. So Misiorowski is 24 years old, and he has thrown 670 pitches at 100 miles an hour or faster.
We're seeing speeds we've never seen before with this guy.
Now, it doesn't take just that stat to wonder why somebody's arm can be fatigued. Kyle Harrison doesn't throw that hard, and he's got a little bit of discomfort in his elbow as well. It's just, just kind of everybody's a little bit different. But you have to understand this. 24 years old, he has not really been in the major leagues for a full season yet. 2023 was his first season in the minor leagues. He threw 71 innings. In 2024, Miz threw 97 innings between Double and Triple A. Last season, between Triple A and the Brewers, he threw a career-high 129 innings. Already this season, he has thrown 111 innings, and you have to imagine he's going to have 10, maybe 12 starts left before the end of the regular season and then the playoffs.
So you start doing the math, 200 innings is in the realm of possibility, plus the postseason, too. And then obviously you got to think about the future with all of these young guys. And I'll just speak for myself. I would love to see Jacob Misiorowski on the bump for the All-Star game Tuesday night. You know what I'd love to see more? Him on the bump for a potential World Series game in late October or early November, much more than in July for an exhibition game.
I am not freaking out over a scratch start. This does not indicate he is having surgery anytime soon. This does not indicate that he is going on the injured list. To me, Pat Murphy, Matt Arnold, they looked at yesterday's game against the Pirates and rendered it meaningless. Meaningless. There's no need to put him on the mound here right now. Why? What are we doing? Do we need this game for something? No, the games you need are coming. Between August 31st and September 9th, the Brewers will face the Cubs 7 times. I think Pat Murphy would prefer Miz be available to pitch twice against the Cubs in that span. And if it means taking a seat for the first half finale on the road in Pittsburgh at the end of a very long road trip for the Brewers, more games played than days in their last half a month, I think it makes all the sense in the world. You got to have this guy for September and beyond. So a start in July, get the guy a little rest.
Now, do you think, given the situations we've seen on the bottom half of the starting rotation, and now you pull him for a scratch, does it give credence to maybe we do need to look at an arm before that August 3rd deadline? Because it's going to come up sooner than we think.
So the Brewers have 12 pitchers currently sidelined for one reason or the other. And some will not be back. Quinn Priester will not be back this season. We know that. I'd say it's very unlikely Brandon Woodruff pitches again this year, though it could be proven wrong. You're just hopeful, I guess, for the guy, but hope is not a strategy when you're building toward the postseason. I think they're being cautious with Harrison, cautious with Mizorowski, because after that, all of a sudden, this team that's got 59 wins at the All-Star break, you start to erode the pitching staff, and I got some serious concerns going into the postseason beating any team in a series, much less a team like the Dodgers that has more wins than any team in baseball. So I think it's a cautious approach. I think it's a smart approach. I don't think it indicates that Jacob's shoulder is going to pop out of his arm anytime soon, or that his elbow is going to fly off the next time he throws a 100-mile-an-hour pitch. But there was seemingly a lot of concern spreading about social media over the weekend when it was announced that Miz would not make that start against Pittsburgh. I think it was a meaningless game in the eyes of the Brewers, and the meaningful games are coming in the second half of the season.
We shall see.
12:54 on WTMJ. Lots to get to here. Speaking of the Brewers, you had a very interesting weekend here with the draft, including the drafting of a home state product. We will talk to him coming up in the 2 o'clock hour. Looking forward to that conversation. Stay with us here on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Many of us struggle to lose weight. I use Milwaukee Weight Loss to lose the weight I've wanted to lose for a long time. And the great thing is I've kept it off now for over a year. Lost 45 pounds last year, another almost 10 pounds this year with a goal of losing maybe 10 more. For a limited time, get $200 off of their summer special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. I can do it. You can do it. We can all do it. Let's lose weight together. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Every homeowner has a list. That roof, those windows, that bathroom you've been meaning to update. If you've been putting off home improvements, you're not alone. At Exterior Pros and Baths, they help homeowners upgrade their homes with beautiful roofing, siding, windows, doors, gutters, and bathrooms built to last. Right now, save up to $3,000 on your next project. Don't wait until a small problem becomes an expensive one. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com. Exterior Pros and Baths. Done right, built to last.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week and every week on WTMJ Outdoors, you have an idea for a guest or a topic, send them my way. Easy way to do that. Email me at steve.scafidi@WTMJ.com. We'll get them on.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Keeping you updated on culture and creativity. What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
A Hero's Homecoming, an original ballet set in World War II created by Wisconsin Dance Theater artistic director Sam Huberty.
We had a veteran from World War II that came, and he was like, it looked exactly how I remembered things looking. The dresses that people were wearing and the uniforms, and really it was so phenomenal to get that insight.
What's on Tap, weeknights at 6 on WTMJ. And the What's on Tap podcast on WTMJ.com.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind.
Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
All the talk about too much screen time at school has the American Academy of Pediatrics finding that 8 to 12 kids, 8 to 12, spend over 5 hours on screens every day. And a lot of times that is at school, right? There are screens right in front of your son and daughter on their Chromebook or something along that line. It's school issued, but they are on it. No more chalkboards in classrooms. Now it's all about the smart board. Well, lawmakers in several states have struck upon a possible solution. How about more playtime?
Quite literally, by requiring 40 minutes of recess time compared to the previous 20. Norman, Oklahoma Assistant School Superintendent Holly McKinney has had to get creative.
We've taken parts of those times and integrated literacy into it, which freed up a few minutes for us to be able to do that second recess.
Other Oklahoma districts have added hours to the school day or days to the academic calendar. State lawmakers in Ohio and New York are considering similar mandates. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
There you go. More recess time. Get outside and play, right? It's what parents want their kids to do anyway in the summertime and anytime they're home from school.
I will say you got to have the infrastructure to do it, though, which is why it's so cool. At least in the city of Milwaukee, it does look like at some of the schools in my area where I live, they've really been trying to put in, whether it's new soccer fields, which was before the World Cup, they were planning maybe beforehand, or they have new basketball facilities or things like that. So it has to exist, and at least locally, it seems like that is being done.
12:58, news coming up.
Meet Jim and Rita. We went on a motorcycle trip. But somewhere in Wyoming, Jim and Rita were in a serious accident. They blocked off the interstate and everything and took us to the hospital. Sometime later, Rita made a discovery. She had noticed that the bracelet was gone. And I asked the trooper, is there a chance we can go out there and see if it's still there? And amazingly, he found a couple of pieces.
It was only 2 tiny links of the bracelet.
Jim was determined to buy Rita another bracelet from Kessler's. And I had my checkbook in my hand. But when he arrived there, and I said, okay, how much? And she says, that's part of our warranty. Jim and Rita discovered the Kessler's miraculous no small print warranty. It's just amazing that you guys do this.
And it's true.
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed. It's just that simple.
It surely is miraculous.
Read the Kessler's Miraculous No Small Print Warranty yourself at KesslersDiamonds.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at ACCUNET.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 1 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, July 13th. Your top story, with the primary just weeks away, one campaign is dealing with an unexpected setback.
I'm Adam Roberts. Some relief on the horizon for Wisconsin taxpayers impacted by spring storms.
Heat advisory begins officially at noon tomorrow. That's Tuesday, and expires at 8 o'clock Wednesday night. Today, you could say it's hot and humid. That would be accurate. Heat index topping out about 98 degrees, 94 the air temperature, low of 74. It is 94 in Milwaukee at 101. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, Decision Wisconsin, a leadership shakeup hitting the campaign of Democratic gubernatorial candidate Sarah Rodriguez.
Rodriguez says her campaign manager was dismissed after staff uncovered, quote, serious mismanagement and inaccuracies in campaign finance filings that she prepared. The Rodriguez campaign says it will contact the Wisconsin Ethics Commission to correct the filings and investigate what happened. The shakeup comes as a second round of campaign finance reports are due this week and less than a month before the primary. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
It's no secret. It's hot and humid in Wisconsin with the conditions set to impact the state most of this week. Meanwhile, across the Midwest and the country, summer storms creating states of emergency stretching from Pennsylvania to Missouri. ABC News Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z.
Flash floods and mudslides hitting eastern Tennessee, too. Crumbling roads, damaging buildings, and flooding businesses in Del Rio.
You think you prepare enough for it, but it's an act of nature.
Meanwhile, Camp Tom Sauk in Missouri, deep in Friday's flood zone.
One of the cabins, you couldn't even see because you could only see the tippy top of the roof.
The National Guard sweeping in with Black Hawk helicopters to rescue more than 200 staff and campers.
And again, a heat advisory takes effect at noon tomorrow for all of southeast Wisconsin. We'll have your full forecast in about 5 minutes.
Thousands of Wisconsin taxpayers receiving extra time to file federal taxes after severe storms hit the state this spring.
The IRS says people and businesses in 21 federally declared disaster counties, including Milwaukee, Waukesha, Racine, Kenosha, and Washington counties, now have until November 2nd to file certain federal tax returns and make tax payments. The extension applies to deadlines that fell after the storms began on April 13th. Eligible taxpayers may also be able to claim disaster-related losses on either their 2025 or 2026 tax return. The IRS also says the relief will be applied automatically for most taxpayers. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Officials in Maine are on scene in the coastal town of Bideford, where a person was killed in an ICE-involved shooting.
We know very little. All sources have told us is that federal immigration officials were involved in a shooting and describing it as sort of dynamic and still unfolding. Specifically, the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI have not responded to multiple requests for comments on this. A Maine official did say that it was involved with ICE and that a person was killed there.
That's ABC's Olivia Rubin reporting.
Remembering Sam Neill, the star of Jurassic Park and The Piano, who passed away at the age of 78 after a battle with blood cancer.
In 2023, he revealed he'd been treated for blood cancer, writing, "I'm not afraid to die, but it would annoy me." Just earlier this year, Neill revealed he was cancer-free after undergoing groundbreaking treatment following a years-long battle. His family posting a statement saying, "Sam was surrounded by family and passed with the dignity that has characterized his whole life. The loss was sudden and unexpected, but blessed by the fact that Sam remained cancer-free."
That's ABC's Laura Spencer. Neil also appeared in TV roles, including The Tudors and Peaky Blinders.
News about your money now. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Down day on Wall Street following news that President Trump plans to reinstate a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. The Dow, the NASDAQ, and the S&P 500 all in the red. The NASDAQ, the biggest loser right now, off nearly 1.5% on the day. Meanwhile, crude oil prices are up pretty considerably, 8% on the day, sitting at $77.26 a barrel this hour. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
Is life insurance still on your list from earlier this year? Now is the perfect time to just get it done. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40 and her $5,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
From those with no experience to firearms enthusiasts, all are welcome at Mission 94 Firearms Education Center. The staff is deeply committed to providing a welcoming and engaging environment for everyone at every level. Learn the right way to handle firearms, level up your skills, and experience replica firearms from different historical eras while learning about their role in protecting our freedoms throughout history. Visit veteran-owned and managed Mission 94 in Kenosha today. Check out the 5-star reviews. Just Google Mission 94.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You know, it's been more than 3 years since we got our garage door from J.D. Griffiths, and it still looks brand new. I'm telling you, it's quiet, it's smooth, and honestly, I didn't realize how much of a difference a quality door would make until we upgraded. J.D. Griffiths, they've been doing it for decades. They're local, trusted, and they handle everything. Try the website, jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ. Schedule your free consultation from J.D. Griffiths.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Brewers have a record of 59-37 at the All-Star break, second best record in all of baseball behind the Dodgers. Pat Murphy's team enters the break, however, having dropped 3 straight to the Pirates.
A lot of things went against us, but credit the Pirates. They did a great job pitching, and they did a great job of doing what they had to do.
Regular season resumes Friday night against the Marlins in Milwaukee. Brewers select 20 players in the recently completed MLB draft, including the son of CC Sabathia in the 20th round. The Brewers select Wilmot Union High School standout Chance Ruby in the 17th round. Free agent guard Gary Trent agrees to a 4-year, $64 million deal to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks, according to ESPN. And the Bucks continue playing the Vegas Summer League tonight at 9 o'clock Central Time against the Phoenix Suns.
Checking the roads now, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We did have a broken down vehicle on 4145. Looked like it was right near the Burleigh area. That was causing some delays about 15 minutes ago. But that has been taken care of. We do still have some slow spots in this stretch. Starting around Watertown Plank Road, actually more like Highway 100. Once you get north of Capitol, you are then good. Southbound, the delays start around Appleton Avenue and alleviate around Burleigh. Elsewhere, it's a pretty smooth drive still shaping up this afternoon, save for right around the Stadium interchange, east and west on 94. In that stretch between 35th and Mitchell Boulevard, you'll be tapping the brakes either way.
Heat advisory goes into effect at noon tomorrow and expires at 8 o'clock Wednesday night. Sunny, hot, and humid today, high 94 degrees. Feels like temperature getting close to 100. Overnight low 74. Air temperature could hit 100 tomorrow with that heat index pushing north of 100, triggering that heat advisory. Very similar conditions on Wednesday. No rain in the forecast really throughout the week until we get to Friday, perhaps in the evening hours. It's 95 in Milwaukee at 109.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Adam Roberts.
Yeah, so I'm guessing the 100-degree mark is what pushes that heat index or makes it an official advisory or one of those excessive heat warnings that we had a couple of weeks ago. So we're just south of that. But, I mean, I don't know if you really know the difference between the feels like of 98 or the feels like of 101. It's a pretty similar feeling to me.
Yeah, I think anytime once you get north of, say, 95 degrees, it all just kind of blends into one solid, it's hot outside.
Brian Niznansky will join us coming up at about 1:35. When does the relief come? When does the rain come? We'll check in with Niz in about 25 minutes.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, Bucky the Beaver has all his materials in Oak Creek. Construction begins today in the massive Travel Plaza. This includes grading and preparation for the installation of utilities before the erection of this massive structure. 73,370 square feet. For those keeping score at home, that's the store, the refueling plaza, known as Bucky's. When complete, the plaza will feature 120 gas pumps, 20 electric vehicle charging stations. But as we know and as we've heard over the last several months, really years now, not everyone in the area is happy about it, believing their community will be overcome with noise and light pollution.
They don't give a crap about us. It's about our house, my property, and what you're doing to it. You're degrading us, and I hope you're happy with it, because you're not welcome here.
Going to take some time to get this thing all figured out. Main vertical construction on the massive Travel Center building will officially launch in spring of 2027, so a little less than a year from now. Bucky's targeting an early 2028 public opening.
Number 2, Greg, a staple of Milwaukee's business and arts community has passed away. Donald Baumgartner dying Saturday at his home in River Hills at the age of 95 years old. Baumgartner, a lifer in the Milwaukee community, was a graduate of Shorewood High School back in 1949, then went to UW-Madison. Helped took over his father's Paper Machinery Corporation company and made headlines in the business community. You may recall back in 2016 when he turned control of that company over to its employees. Made a lot of waves at the time. Meanwhile, in the art scene, Don and his wife Donna's imprint is impossible to miss. You have the Baumgartner Center for Dance, located in the 3rd Ward, where the offices for Milwaukee Ballet are located. Milwaukee's Art Museum's director position is called the Donald and Donna Baumgartner Director, the endowment role. And Donald even hosted architect Santiago Calatrava at his home when the aforementioned Calatrava addition to the art museum was being built back in the early 2000s. Details still coming out about Celebrations of Life. Looks like that'll be in September and held at the Milwaukee Art Museum. But a staple of the community passing away, and WTMJ's Sandy Max will take a look back on Don's legacy coming up tonight on What's on Tap.
And number 3, President Trump says the U.S. Navy blockade back in effect as Iran claims it has closed the Strait of Hormuz. The stock market is reacting to that news. Everything pretty comfortably in the red this afternoon. The U.S. first put in place that naval blockade April 13th, aimed at countering Iran's closure of the strait. Then on June 14th, the president authorized the immediate removal of the blockade. In fact, it was officially lifted on June 18th as part of that deal between the U.S. and Iran that has since fallen apart.
President Trump said Monday he was reinstating the U.S. Navy blockade near the Strait of Hormuz and also claimed the U.S. would charge a 20% toll on all cargo shipped through that waterway, saying it was a, quote, matter of fairness. He didn't say how that would work or why the U.S. had the right to do that in an international waterway that he himself has said should be free for commercial travel. The president earlier today told Fox News the U.S. would take control of the Strait of Hormuz and get paid for protecting it. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Trump specified the blockade is designed exclusively to stop Iranian ships or customers from entering or leaving. Now, the reinstatement of the blockade is having an effect here on the cost of Brent crude oil. It's up about 5% today, currently trading still under the $100 mark at about $79 per barrel. It's 1:14 on WTMJ.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities, where senior living's our expertise. Caring staff that help you when you need. Enjoy life at Capri, making friends and memories. Living life to the fullest, you will love your new home. Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
Well, by now you've probably heard me talking about it. Our master closet became a total disaster over the years. We had some builder-grade racking installed when we built the house about 10 years ago. That was starting to fall apart. That dresser that I had to move into the space because, I don't know, I had it and sort of needed it. Well, it was really too big for our space. It had shoes on display, laundry was on display. Didn't like it. It was cluttered. It was kind of a mess. Every time we cleaned it, it felt like we were just moving stuff around. Well, thank goodness for Inspired Closets Milwaukee. No longer an issue. They installed a beautiful master closet custom to our space. It came out, did some measurements, and we talked about things that we wanted to have included. We wanted laundry pullouts that were behind closed doors. We wanted a little bit of glass on some drawers. We wanted some lighting. I needed some dresser drawers built in. They listened, and they did an incredible job finding a wonderful solution for us. So the end result, thanks to Katie and Dan, the team at Inspired Closets Milwaukee, no more clutter, no more mess. The space looks brand new, like it was just installed. It is hard to make our closet messy now, thanks to Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Any place that needs an organizational touch, think about it with your house. This is a transformational opportunity with Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Pantry, laundry room, that mud room that's getting a lot of traffic here now that the kids are home from school. Ask what they can do in your garage in organizing. Master closet, linen closet, front hall closet, you name it. It's InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
More savings for more Club Rewards members. Join today and unlock exclusive deals at your local Tysons. Every month, members save big on customer favorites and seasonal must-haves, plus earn 1% back on every purchase. This month, enjoy special savings on a Caravan canopy, an Aqua Pro inflatable dock, a Beyond Breeze fan, Valspar medallion paints, and more. Not a member yet? Sign up for free at Tysons.com and start saving today. Offers end July 31st in store only.
Keeping you updated on culture and creativity. What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
A Hero's Homecoming, an original ballet set in World War II created by Wisconsin Dance Theater artistic director Sam Huberty.
We had a veteran from World War II that came and he was like, it looked exactly how I remembered things looking, the dresses that people were wearing and the uniforms, and really it was so phenomenal to get that insight.
What's on Tap, weeknights at 6 on WTMJ and the What's on Tap podcast on WTMJ.com.
Heat advisory goes into effect officially at noon tomorrow and expires at 8 o'clock Wednesday night. 94 the high today, 98 the heat index. Tomorrow, air temperature could reach 100 with that heat index pushing north of it. We stay in the mid to upper 90s on Wednesday. It's 94 and hot in Milwaukee at 117. Greg and Adam with you till 3 o'clock. Jessica off all week, celebrating her birthday week. I guess that's what it is. It was her birthday over the weekend, so just take the next week off. That makes sense, right?
That's a pretty nice little gift for yourself.
Not bad at all. I don't know if you watched it last night. I was kind of curious to see this, so I did tune into the Bucks Summer League game against the Spurs.
I did as well.
Now, in full disclosure here, there's nothing pretty about Summer League basketball. It is a little chaotic. The scores are not anything indicative of what you'll see during the regular season.
No.
There are some players, especially with this year's Bucks team, who will be a part of the Bucks roster. But there's also some players that will not be on an NBA team next season. That's just kind of how the Summer League works. But I wanted to see the broadcast. I wanted to see the first over-the-air broadcast of Bucks basketball in 31 years, which is essentially what we watched last night. New home of the Bucks is My24. We had Josh Glessing on the program last week, Friday. In case you missed it, I wanted to bring back some of the details of that conversation because you might have some questions here. The broadcast last night was a simulcast of the ESPN broadcast. Right. In other words, the Bucks game you watched, if you watched it on My24, was also airing at the same time on ESPN. But if you watched on My24, you notice there were no commercials. They were not bringing the ESPN commercials into the My24 feed. So when it went to break, you stayed with whatever was happening at the arena on My24.
The look and feel of the Summer League games is not going to be the look and feel of our preseason and regular season games. This is we get the feed direct and we put it on. I don't want anyone to see it and say, oh no, this isn't what we're used to. This is a very different we'll call it feed than we'll get during the regular season. That's watching on Sunday.
Kind of down and dirty, right? Just get the game on TV with your new TV partner and watch a little basketball.
It's funny. You use the technical term. The technical term is the dirty feed.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. Well, Josh, I know this is...
And I'd be lying to you. I'd be lying to you if I told you I knew what that meant 6 months ago.
Oh, good. A lot of learning and on-the-job training. That's Bucks President Josh Glessing. For the first time in 31 years, broadcasts are back on over-the-air television.
One of the big things that's different between today and 1989 is 1989, that was the only way to get Bucks basketball games. One, you had to be local. And two, that was the only path to get it. You fast forward to today, Bucks fans all over the world can get Bucks games through the NBA League Pass. And then locally, we want to be in as many households in the state of Wisconsin as we can be. And this allows us, with no friction, to be in every household. And it's not just being on My24, but it is also for those cord cutters, and I'm going to use a little bit of jargon here, but what are called the MVPDs, which are the YouTube TVs and the Hulus, those people that actually have cut the cord, they can still see My24 on whatever platform they use to get games. And likewise, and we'll announce this later, we will have a Bucks Plus solution too for people who just want a true streaming option. And we'll create as many ways as possible for our fans to access Bucks games. But at the core of that are free Milwaukee Bucks games on My24 in Southeast Wisconsin. Again, later we will announce a broader statewide network because My24 isn't across the entire state. So we've got other partners lined up, and we'll announce those. And hopefully the not too distant future to ensure that we get the entire state of Wisconsin.
So it doesn't appear this is a long-term solution for the Bucks. And I think that's worth mentioning here. All communication around the deal points to My24 being home of the Bucks for the upcoming season. Doesn't really say anything about what happens after this season. It's possible it could continue on My24. But I asked Glessing if the NBA would have an appetite to produce Bucks TV broadcasts. Think about the Brewers, right? So when the Brewers divorced from FanDuel, when that all fell apart, they started to work with MLB. MLB said, we'll produce your broadcasts. And they do for a couple of other teams in Major League Baseball. And you've probably noticed a little difference watching Brewers baseball. The treatments, the camera angles, use of drones, cameras in different spots, kind of cool stuff. Now there's Brewers TV. So I asked Josh if there will ever be a Bucks TV if the NBA will take control of the production of broadcasts, and if you're a Spectrum subscriber or whatever your service is, if you will see Bucks TV next to Brewers TV in your channel lineup.
There are constant conversations on what is best for the league and what is best for our fans. To sit here today and say that I envision it may be unfair, but I do think it's going to continue to evolve. I think these things naturally evolve, as do so many things, both in terms of media and then also the consumer. 10 years ago, the RSN model was the model, and cord cutting wasn't really a thing. Well, that's changing. And what we have to do in conjunction with our partners across the league, and admittedly in conjunction with other leagues as well, and Rick Schlesinger over at the Brewers and I have had a number of conversations about what they're doing and what that looks like and the rationale, and they've been great partners as well. It is a constantly evolving thing because media is changing, our consumers are changing, and our job is to not commit to anything until we have to, and to not be definitive, because the world's changing. The way people consume media and content is changing. But the exciting thing for us right now as we think about the 26-27 season is, again, for the first time since '89, we're going to put Milwaukee Bucks games everywhere in the state of Wisconsin.
Yes, I think there's potential for Bucks TV to be a thing and the NBA to take over production of broadcast, but Josh wouldn't commit to that being a thing to happen in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, other than they're looking at it, they're exploring all options for having the best quality broadcast for fans.
The other thing, too, to note, there's been talk of this statewide affiliate network, because we're mentioning My24 a lot, because that's where it will be in our area. But if you live in La Crosse and want to watch Bucks games, or you live in Wausau, that has not yet been figured out. That's still a part of the process. So if you're listening across the state and wondering, where am I in my specific city going to be able to watch, that is coming up down the woodwork.
And our parent company, Good Karma Brands, is going to be working to develop that statewide TV network. So people outside of southeastern Wisconsin will have an avenue to watch Bucks basketball without having to search too hard. So what happens if the Bucks are on ESPN or some of their national outlet or streaming service? What happens then to My24?
The national TV games will still supersede these. So if a game is on NBC, it wouldn't be on My24. The beauty of NBC, though, is it is the same from a reach as local. So this is different than the RSN model. So they will still be available in the same way. It'll just be on the national channel.
Yeah, nothing new there. That's kind of standard practice, really, across most professional sports leagues.
And you mentioned the Brewers TV comparison. I do know there has been a lot of chatter amongst people in my social circles about just how many avenues people are having to use to access Brewer games if they want to watch it over TV. And it will be interesting to see with those blackout rules if it's going to be a lot of the same, if there's going to be a lot of these My24 broadcasts that, well, that's going to be like NBC is a big partner with the NBA now, that's going to be exclusive to them. Or Peacock, that's been another big one as well.
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens here, but the future is now, I guess, for the Milwaukee Bucks, and that My24 is the TV broadcast home. Remember this from 1989?
We'll be back with Johnny Mac's Keys to the Game in just a moment on the Bucks Basketball Network.
Summer is the time to enjoy the outside. Enjoy the deck, the patio, the fire pit, the shade, the screen room, the in-ground pool. Enjoy all of it in your own backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck with a custom screen room and automated pergola. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Hey, keep it easy, keep it delicious tonight with Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza. Put it on the table, $4.25 for about 20 minutes. You'll be enjoying a Connie's or an urban pie, maybe a Primo Thin, or my personal favorite, Screamin' Sicilian. You know that one, overflowing with toppings. I cannot find a frozen pizza with more toppings than Screamin' Sicilian. Delicious. Check it out. And right now, a great deal on Screamin' Sicilian. Call it a Screamin' deal. $4.99 at Festival Foods through the end of day tomorrow. That's right. You've got until the end of day tomorrow to take advantage of a great deal on Screamin' Sicilian at Festival Foods for $4.99. Slice for every appetite. Stock up and save with Palermo's, proudly made in the state of Wisconsin for 60 years. Do it the right way. The best tasting frozen pizza you will find is made right here in Wisconsin. Palermo's.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Family owned.
Family operated, family priced. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
From large manufacturer to local pizza shop and every business in between, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions. Whatever you're building, you've got this. And Summit Credit Union's got you.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor or designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today.
Classic feeling. Your home is failing. Windows are old, roof looks horrible, siding is distressed. Even your front door fights you on everything. Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, and I will be on the Fix It Show this Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. 1 hour where you get to call in and ask about your failing home and how the professionals at Siding Unlimited can help you. Can't wait until Saturday? Bring your pictures to our Siding Unlimited showroom and let's chat. Start your home updating journey with Siding Unlimited at sidingunlimited.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
One great day of golf can change lives. Join me, Steve Scafidi, and my co-host Kristen Bry on Monday, August 31st for the Salvation Army of Milwaukee County Swing for the Kettle Golf Invitational at Oakwood Park Golf Course in Franklin.
Your participation directly supports food, shelter, and life-changing programs for children and families throughout our community.
We'll be broadcasting live from the course, but the day is really about you getting golfers and sponsors together to make a difference.
Foursomes, individual golfers, and sponsors are all welcome. Reserve your spot today at samilwaukee.org. That's samilwaukee.org.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Coming up on 1:30, this is Wisconsin's Midday News. I'm Greg Matzik. It's Monday, July 13th. Your top story, families impacted by the Lincoln Avenue school fire, with more answers.
I'm Adam Roberts. A growing divide at City Hall on the future of I-794.
Heat advisory for all of southeastern Wisconsin begins at noon tomorrow. It goes until 8 o'clock Wednesday night. Sunny, hot, and humid today, high 94. Heat index getting close to 100. Tonight, clear, warm, and humid, a low of 74. Tomorrow, we could touch 100 with our air temperature, pushing that heat index north of 100 degrees. Mostly sunny and very hot.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Maine, law enforcement officials on scene in Bedford where one person was killed in an ICE-involved shooting. ABC's Olivia Rubin has more.
There are still so many questions here, including who that individual was, what the specific federal immigration agency was, what the circumstances of this shooting exactly were. It, of course, comes in the context of a number of other fatal shootings involving federal immigration authorities. Just recently, that shooting in Houston, a man was killed there. And of course, the two fatal shootings of two American citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minnesota, which caused substantial backlash to the president's immigration policies.
Escalations between the U.S. and Iran leading to more uncertainty in the Strait of Hormuz. After Iran announced the critical shipping waterway was closed again, President Trump says the U.S. will reimpose its naval blockade and charge a toll for cargo ships. On Wall Street, stocks are trading lower this hour due to uncertainty of the war. This is ABC News.
OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com WTMJ News Time is 1:31.
Milwaukee Public School officials sharing more details about the temporary move for Lincoln Avenue students.
After last month's fire destroyed the school, Milwaukee Public Schools says students who currently receive bus service will continue receiving transportation when classes temporarily move to Pulaski High School. MPS Interim Deputy Superintendent of Operations Michael Harris.
If you were provided transportation at the 18th location, you can expect to have transportation to Pulaski.
Harris says families also can still enroll at Lincoln.
Folks were also asking, hey, I have cousins or a nephew or a niece that wants to also enroll at Lincoln Avenue. Absolutely. We have seats available.
Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
3 members of the Milwaukee Common Council are publicly pushing back against Mayor Cavalier Johnson's preferred plan for I-794 between the Marquette and the Lakefront. Aldermen Alex Brower and Bob Bauman and Alderwoman Charlene Moore say they support tearing down the elevated freeway and replacing it with a street-level boulevard, saying the move would create around 16 acres of developable land and grow Milwaukee's tax base. That statement coming days after the mayor said he supports rebuilding the freeway instead of removing it outright.
The man accused of trying to kidnap a woman and her child in Fond du Lac pleads not guilty by reason of mental disease.
Miles Yeager faces felony charges of attempted kidnapping and false imprisonment. The man from Rosendale allegedly tried to kidnap a 27-year-old woman while she was pushing her 1-year-old in a stroller along the Mascoutin State Trail last month. The woman said Yeager grabbed her by the neck and tried to force a cloth over her mouth. Police later found several feet of rope inside Yeager's car. He's due back in court for a bail hearing on Friday. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin joining a multi-state lawsuit attempting to block the Trump administration from ending federal mental health grants for schools.
Attorney General Josh Call says the cuts would cost the universities of Wisconsin and the Department of Public Instruction over $12 million. The lawsuit argues the U.S. Department of Education is unlawfully terminating grants approved by Congress. The grants help schools address student mental health needs and are scheduled to end later this month. 15 other states have joined the lawsuit. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Wisconsin homeowners and renters applying for FEMA disaster assistance after April storms should be prepared for a home inspection. FEMA says inspectors may call from an unavailable or out-of-state number to schedule an appointment, usually within 10 days of an application. Residents are being reminded that inspectors will carry official identification and never ask for payment or banking information. Applications for FEMA assistance are due by August 31st. More details on our website, WTMJ.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather on the way next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
$998 buys you a magnificent diamond solitaire engagement ring at Kessler's.
A solid gold mounting shows off a big, beautiful diamond, 3/4 of a carat.
Glitter, twinkle, sparkle.
This is the definitive diamond solitaire engagement ring.
You can choose a round diamond, radiant, marquise, or oval.
3/4 of a carat. Any shape you want.
Any color of gold you want.
A 1-carat solitaire is just $1,498.
Ask to see the Evermore engagement rings at Kessler's.
You're going to be ecstatic about the color, clarity, and cut of your diamond.
Evermore.
Each of these diamonds was lovingly created in the heart of a miniature star.
Your diamond will remain.
Evermore.
Your diamond was born about the time you fell in love.
You will be in love.
Evermore.
Your diamond has been waiting patiently for you to see it, love it, and choose it.
Don't keep it waiting. Come to Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
For more than a century, Curative Care has been helping children, adults, and families across southeast Wisconsin navigate developmental disabilities and find the support they need to thrive. Curative helps families every step of the way, from early childhood through adulthood, connecting parents with resources, providing guidance during challenging times, and creating a community where people truly belong. If you know someone who may be looking for answers and support for a loved one with developmental disabilities, visit curative.org today.
This message reaches 1 million people or more every week. Spreading the gospel is more than one voice speaking to 1 million. It is and must continue to be 1 million voices, each speaking to one, pointing them to our friend Jesus.
The Lutheran Hour with Dr. Michael Ziegler.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. Brewers entered the All-Star break with a record of 59-37, the second best record in all of baseball, despite losing 3 in a row to the Pirates in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh did everything right. They deserve every bit. They got a good ball club. They had great pitching. 2 guys bumping 100 miles an hour for 6 innings both days and executing. So they deserve it. They kept us under control. And they got big hits.
Pat Murphy's team resumes the season Friday night against the Marlins in Milwaukee. Jacob Mizorowski and William Contreras in Philadelphia for All-Star festivities. Miz will not pitch, however, due to arm fatigue. MLB Home Run Derby takes place tonight. The All-Star Game scheduled for Tuesday night. And the semifinals of the World Cup begin Tuesday. France will take on Spain. Argentina and England will meet on the pitch Wednesday evening. And the Bucks Summer League schedule continues tonight in Las Vegas against the Phoenix Suns.
Taking a look at the roads now, your WTMJ time saver traffic. Overall, it remains a pretty good drive this afternoon. Not seeing a whole lot in the way of any incidents. The only slow spot is going to be 4145, right where you'd expect through the construction zone. Delays now beginning around Good Hope Road and extending all the way south to Capitol Drive. Our earlier delays on the northbound stretch from Highway 100 up to Burleigh, those have cleared up nicely. The only other slow spot's going to be right around the stadium heading west on 94. Beginning right at the interchange and then going over to Mitchell Boulevard.
You know, every so often, our friends at TMJ4, our meteorologist crew, they're out and about. They're at a farmer's market. They're at a splash pad. They're doing something, right? They're always out in the community.
Lots of field trips.
Yeah, this might be a tough week to do that, to be out and about, unless you're near some cool water. TMJ4 meteorologist Lindsay Slater joining us here. We see that there's a heat advisory that goes into effect tomorrow, Lindsay. I feel like it probably could be in effect today, however, with that heat index approaching 100 degrees. Is 100 the threshold for that?
So for heat index, I believe the heat advisory index is like 99 to, they recently changed the thresholds. I actually know the website to go to figure that out. So I'm going to Google, or not going to Google it. I will look at those MKX thresholds. They have a whole category for them. But with that being said, we don't fall into the extreme heat, which is good. But yes, it is still extremely hot and humid. Okay, so I found it. It's between 95 and 99 for 4 consecutive days. So that's why we get the heat advisory. I knew there was like a number threshold as far as how many days it had to be, and they will issue those 12 to 36 hours out. So that's why this time we have a heat advisory. The extreme heat warning, that is when you get the heat index that's over 100 and 105 degrees. That's usually that threshold. So it's a criteria, but with just being normal, it's really hot.
You know, other than just those similarly high temperatures, Lindsay, are there any differences in terms of setup, in terms of what's going to cause this heat wave compared with the one we had a couple of weeks ago?
So honestly, it is almost the exact same setup. This one, though, it does break down faster. So that is, I think, the reason we have a heat advisory versus an extreme heat warning is the length of time that your body has to try to acclimate to these terrible conditions. So the overnight lows are not providing you relief. And heat is compounded. So if you don't have air conditioning, you're hot during the day, you're hot at night. Going into the next day, you're in a worse place that you were before the day before. So that is why I think we have the difference. But we have another heat dome, and this heat dome is going to be impacting a huge portion of the U.S. I just think it does break down faster, and we're kind of on the fringes of the dome versus being completely underneath the dome, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I just like these words that are used together that I don't like. Heat dome is like my new entry. I don't like flesh eating. I don't like bulging disc, and I don't like heat dome, right? Is there anything else? Pork tapeworm. That would be bad, too. None of that sounds good to me.
Well, no, it doesn't. Ugh, that's gross. I know that Niz calls it the ring of fire. That's another way you can look at things. Also, a lot of times what happens is we tend to be not having any relief from storms, and it's because storms go up and over the dome. And I call those ridge riders. I think I mentioned that the last time. So once the dome starts to break down, we enter ridge rider territory, which means the dome's breaking down, and now the storms can kind of try to get to us. And so therefore it'll use said heat, which means storms can get a little sassy with all that heat and energy as we go to the end of the week.
This has been a fun nomenclature breakdown on a Monday afternoon, Lindsay. You mentioned Ring of Fire, one of those. And with this last heat wave, we did see those pop-up thunderstorm opportunities coming up. But it looks like with this one, it's just straight heat, no relief, right?
Straight heat, no relief. I don't have rain in my forecast, quite frankly, probably not till the end of Friday. That's even a huge slight chance at this point. I mean, I wrote in my forecast, I have 94, 95, 93, 90, 91, and then Saturday 90, and I wrote chance of spice. That's literally what I wrote on my forecast sheet, meaning the chance of a storm that could get a little spicy.
Well, I do see a little bit of a cool down. You mentioned Monday, potentially we could be in the upper 70s or something like this. So I guess that goes back to your initial point of the heat dome breaking down potentially a little quicker this time.
Yeah, I do think it breaks down quicker. I don't think we're under the intenseness that we had before. Before we were under right in the middle of it. And right now, even today, we're on the edge. So the edge will break down quicker. Those who are under the total dome, that's Nebraska, South Dakota. I'm looking at, as I looked at maps earlier this morning, those folks are going to be in those 100 categories, likely the extreme heat warnings. We're on the edge. So at times, we even get a lake breeze. Wednesday and Thursday, we have winds off the lake, which may be a saving grace for those folks on the lakefront.
You mentioned the lake breeze. I remember last heat wave, Lindsay, at least early on, we were even talking about how you really can't go into the water to get relief from the heat because the waves were so high because we had those strong winds. Doesn't sound like that's going to be the case here, though, right?
Not this time. Our winds are about 5 to 15 every day. So I actually just looked at the beach forecast. NOAA puts out a surf forecast, which basically has the UV index and, wave heights. Wave heights, I actually wrote it down, are 1 foot or less for the next 3 days.
Perfect.
So if you need to get some relief, the water temperature, I also just looked it up, 69.1. That ain't bad.
Nice.
Pretty good.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, Lindsay. Stay cool, and we'll check in again soon.
You bet. Have a good one.
You do the same. Coming up on 144 here on WTMJ.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities, where senior living's our expertise. Caring staff that help you when you need. Enjoy life at Capri, making friends and memories. Living life to the fullest, you will love your new home. Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
Hey, Greg Madzik here for my friends at Soren's Ford on Capitol Drive in Brookfield. I like to call it a neighborhood dealership because it's pretty close to where we live, just a couple of miles away, and in the heart of Brookfield and right around the corner from a couple of subdivisions. It's just nicely tucked into a beautiful area in Brookfield, and they are a wonderful group of people at Soren's Ford on Capitol Drive. It's the oldest continuously running Ford dealership in the state of Wisconsin. First opening its doors in 1917 by the Sorens family and still owned by the Sorens family. Fourth generation family-owned dealership in Wisconsin, doing it the right way. The original home of the nice guys, and you'll find out why. Great inventory of new and used Ford vehicles. If you're looking for something specific, connect with Sorens. They'll go on a mission for you. They'll find the vehicle that you want if it's not on their lot. Service, you bet, top notch. We had an oil change and tire rotation done not too long ago. I said, great, when can we drop off the vehicle? And they said, Greg, we'll come to your house. We'll pick it up. Don't even have to leave the house. It was on a Friday. My wife was working from home. Sorens came to the door, picked up the vehicle, brought it back to the dealership, did the service, and then brought it back to our house. That is incredible. They'll do it for you. The highest standards, fairness, honesty, right there at Sorens. Incredible inventory as well. Connect with them. Sorens Ford on Capitol Drive in Brookfield. Visit Sorens.com. That's SOERENS.com.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the July Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In-stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save now during the Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Hey, reminder, it is summer storm season, and weather damage can be a real issue at the house. So if you think you've got a problem, remember, Tri-County Contracting gives free estimates on any potential wind or hail damage. And here's the best part, they can always work directly with your insurance. It's Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again, even during the storm season, with Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
The family-owned Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring line cooks, dishwashers, and third-shift cleaners. You'll make real money in a fun, busy atmosphere. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today and start next week. Visit MineShaftRestaurant.com.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Deb Cruz, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee. Adam member new car dealers have factory warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
A well-maintained car delivers better gas mileage and saves you money.
148 on Wisconsin's Midday News. Continuing to follow this news in the Wisconsin political world that broke very late in the day yesterday. It was around 9:30 Sunday evening, and less than a month to go now until the Wisconsin gubernatorial primary in August. A Democratic candidate for governor, Sarah Rodriguez, announced she was firing her campaign manager, saying they had discovered serious problems with campaign finance reports. Rodriguez campaign in a statement put out on Sunday, terminating their campaign manager, Kara Spencer. Quote, serious mismanagement and inaccuracies found in campaign finance filings. And they have contacted the campaign has now the Wisconsin Ethics Commission regarding the situation. That was the happening today with this. So a lot to break down here as we hear the expression all the time where there's smoke, there's fire, Greg. It is important to note off the get-go here, there has been, as of right now, no allegation of criminal intent by Rodriguez's campaign manager, Spencer, nor that any of the contributions have gone missing or were used for personal gain. There have been no allegations of anything like embezzlement or anything like that. However, this new information this afternoon from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, as they've combed through some of these reports, they indicate Rodriguez may have reported raising at least $100,000 more than she actually collected. That's taking a review of all of these numbers into account. It does remain to be seen if this will carry weight with voters in the August primary, although Channel 12's political director, Matt Smith, was on Point Taken earlier this morning and laid out why this is exactly newsworthy, because it may seem like a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff. It doesn't necessarily involve Rodriguez herself, but it is still very noteworthy.
Candidates go through campaign staff routinely, right? Like, for a campaign manager to be fired is not unusual. To put out a press release 3 days before the next filing period and how many weeks until the primary as early voting is underway, is very significant. So we don't know the extent of everything that happened. We don't even know for confirmation yet if this has to do with the upcoming report or the report that was filed in January.
So a little bit more on Kara Spencer here. She has experience in campaign management going back over 20 years to 2003 and has had a history of working with Rodriguez for quite a while, as I could tell, going back to about 2021. There is a planned press conference from Rodriguez later this afternoon. She is planning to address questions around the termination of her campaign manager, and we were wondering if this was going to come. I think we were discussing on the air earlier today, Greg, whether this would be just we're going to just handle everything through press releases, or if Rodriguez is going to face the mic and take hard questions that are going to be asked about this.
Well, and I think it's probably the right approach, right? Don't hide from it. You may want it to go away quickly, but the way you make it go away quickly and get on your path toward, toward candidacy and really this debate that's coming up at the end of the month with a clear head is to kind of attack it head on. But you're right. I mean, it's not unusual for things like the firing of a campaign manager to happen, but it's usually because of lagging poll numbers, maybe a strategic shift that might happen throughout the course of the candidacy, fundraising falling short, maybe some internal friction or power struggles not seeing eye to eye. There's a number of reasons why it could happen, and we'll likely get a little more detail from Sarah Rodriguez on why this happened, when it happened.
Already a couple of gubernatorial candidates using this as fodder. You would, as expected, Tom Tiffany, the Republican, and seemingly one candidate that will get the Republican vote jumping all over this, but also fellow Democrat Joel Brennan in his own release today asking several questions. And it will be interesting if one of them that he posed, Brennan did, will be asked at this conference today. And that is that how is this not disqualifying? That was asked directly by Brennan himself, which is also interesting when you remember that County Executive David Crowley last week, in withdrawing from the race, put his support behind Rodriguez and asked the other candidates to coalesce behind her. Well, right now, that seems completely off the table until further notice. And again, we will expect that press conference later this afternoon. And when it happens, we will give it for you right here on WTMJ.
It's 1:52.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Well, the story of Horicon Bank is a fantastic story. 130 years of doing business in the state of Wisconsin. It dates back to 1896. Horicon Bank opening up a single branch in the town of Horicon. Wisconsin was not even 50 years old. That's incredible to think about. While they're still opening doors and still serving the community here in Wisconsin with newer branches located in Wauwatosa and Menominee Falls, New Berlin, and Grafton. We see you out there in West Bend. It's Horicon Bank, together doing good. And doing so for 130 years. If you're looking to get that business off the ground, maybe start a first checking or savings account for a loved one, you can rely on Horicon Bank. They are local. Everything Horicon Bank does is in the state of Wisconsin. Great service, products that go hand in hand, top-notch products to meet your cash flow needs, and financing requests that can be approved in days and not weeks. Together doing good. That's the story of Horicon Bank, member FDIC.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Are you hosting an event, launching something new, wanting to get the word out about your part of the state? Be a featured guest on the WTMJ Experience Wisconsin show. Share your story, promote your event or business, and connect with fans all across the state. I'm John Merkier. I'd love to interview you. We reach listeners from Milwaukee to Madison, Green Bay to La Crosse, everywhere in between. It's Experience Wisconsin. Ready to shine a spotlight on your business or company? Email me, john@WTMJ.com for more information. john@WTMJ.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Well, the pest control experts Orkin is out with its annual list of ranking cities in America with the highest infestation of bed bugs. I know I've got your attention now, Adam.
Oh, indeed.
Orkin ranked U.S. cities for bed bug infestations based on residential and commercial treatments performed between May of 2025 and May of 2026. And topping the list for the 6th consecutive year is
Chicago, Chicago, that toddling town.
Well, congratulations to our friends from the South. Chicago, you've done it again. More bedbug infestations, more treatment calls to Orkin over the last calendar year than any city in the United States. Bravo, well done.
Is the trophy that they presented filled with little bedbug carcasses?
That's not a bad idea. Los Angeles, Detroit, Cleveland, and Indianapolis occupy the next 4 positions. I don't know if any of those are a shock. Maybe Indianapolis, but I could see the other 3 for sure. For whatever reason, Ohio had the most cities on the list with 6 entries. So that either means people in Ohio are very clean, very
and they're
stingy
just reporting
about
it a lot.
Right, and they're just making those calls. We've got to get this taken care of, or there really is an issue in Cincinnati, Cleveland, Columbus, Youngstown, Dayton, and Toledo.
Or, as we say a lot, both things can be true. You can be reporting a lot because there are a lot of bugs.
Very good point. Milwaukee, for whatever it's worth, checks in at number 13 on the list. It's actually down 3 spots from 2025.
Still not great. I'd like that to be a little bit lower.
Primarily nocturnal, these blood-feeding pests often target sleeping humans and can easily spread by hitchhiking on luggage, purses, or other personal belongings. So, standard practice, what do? Well, you get back from that trip and get that suitcase right into the laundry room and start doing laundry, crank up the temperature to high a little bit, and make sure everything is properly taken care of.
Yeah, that's one laundry run that you don't want to scrimp on the hot water. Just make sure you take care of the issue.
Well, the nasty part here is bed bugs can remain hidden for weeks before being discovered. So you might have that issue a few weeks down the line.
And feel great with today's Monday makeover. I am back on location with a big reason to celebrate at Merle Norman Salon and Spa in Brookfield with Renee Hitt, the owner. Now, Merle Norman, Renee, has been such a trusted beauty brand. People have been feeling their best with Merle Norman for how long now?
We are celebrating 95 years this year.
For a lot of people who don't know the history, what makes the Merle Norman brand so special and something that you wanted to be a part of?
Merle Norman herself was a woman who wanted to build a business that would support and empower women. So she founded her company based on 3 products that she developed herself in the 1920s. And in 1931, right in the midst of the Great Depression, she launches her franchise business.
Wow.
By 1940, there was a franchise here in Milwaukee. So it grew really quickly. And she based it on these 3 products that she developed herself to take care of women's skin from the inside out. It was a deep cleansing cream, like a cold cream, Miracle, which is our iconic deep cleansing mask, and Powder Base, which is a cream foundation that was designed specifically to protect the skin. She approached skincare differently than how it was done for most other cosmetic companies at that time. Most cosmetic companies were masking the skin, where she felt that the skin had to be able to function as naturally. So she found products that were going to help support that.
Merle Norman Cosmetics is in the name, but to know that skincare was the basis and the foundation and continues to be today.
Absolutely. So Merle Norman is celebrating its 95 years this way by putting together some great value packages of some of our iconic products.
Certainly say happy anniversary to the ladies. What's the best way to get here?
Go online and find us at Merle Norman Brookfield Square. We are located at Brookfield Square, exterior entrance right outside the movie tavern.
Call Merle Norman or book online at mnsalonbrookfield.com.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
Your trusted and relevant source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, July 13th. Your top story, another stretch of steamy summer weather.
I'm Adam Roberts. A blockbuster media merger now facing a new obstacle.
Heat advisory begins at noon on Tuesday and expires at 8 o'clock Wednesday night. Clear, warm, and humid throughout the day. Temperatures topping out about 94 degrees. Heat index getting close to 100. Overnight low 74. Sunny, very hot tomorrow. Could top out at 100 degrees with the air temperature, pushing that heat index above 100 degrees. It's 95 and hot in Milwaukee at 2 o'clock. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, those hot conditions expected to be here all week as part of that heat dome.
You'll see our high temperatures actually will top out in the mid and upper 90s, and there are some spots tomorrow. As long as the dew points remain a little bit lower, we could actually see air temperatures close to or even just over 100 degrees.
That's TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson. The hot and humid weather all across Wisconsin will continue through at least Thursday.
Decision Wisconsin, a leadership shakeup hitting the campaign of Democratic gubernatorial candidate Sarah Rodriguez.
Rodriguez says her campaign manager was dismissed after staff uncovered, quote, serious mismanagement and inaccuracies in campaign finance filings that she prepared. The Rodriguez campaign says it will contact the Wisconsin Ethics Commission to correct the filings and investigate what happened. The shakeup comes as a second round of campaign finance reports are due this week and less than a month before the primary. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Rodriguez is expected to address the matter at a press conference later this afternoon.
Milwaukee police searching for a driver involved in a deadly hit and run on the city's north side. Investigators say 2 women were walking across Teutonia and Vienna late last night when they were struck by a speeding vehicle. Both victims died at the scene. Police say the suspect was driving a black SUV.
A federal judge in Florida referring President Trump's attorneys for potential disciplinary action over their filing of a $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS that resulted in the creation of the now defunct Anti-Weaponization Fund.
In a scathing order, Judge Kathleen Williams criticized the president and his lawyers for using the court to, quote, earmark billions of dollars from American taxpayers. Trump filed a $10 billion lawsuit against the IRS in January over the leak of his tax returns, and he agreed to settle the case in May in exchange for the creation of a now-defunct Anti-Weaponization Fund, as well as broad immunity from IRS audits. Concluding the case was brought for a, quote, improper purpose, Judge Williams referred Trump's personal lawyer, as well as both the acting and associate attorney general, for possible disciplinary action. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
12 states are now suing to block the proposed merger between Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery from moving forward.
The new lawsuit claims the $110 billion deal to merge 2 of the largest entertainment companies in the world would result in less competition, higher prices, and fewer options on the big and the small screen. California Attorney General Rob Bonta leading the effort.
Movie theaters, basic cable TV distributors, and audiences on every sofa and in every movie seat would feel the impact of this unlawful merger.
Mike Dubusky, ABC News.
News about your money now. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Been a down day all day on Wall Street following news of the renewed blockade of the Strait of Hormuz from President Trump, and that has not changed this hour. The Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P 500 are all off on the day. Meanwhile, crude oil is hovering right now around $77.60 a barrel. That's up about 8%. From the start of trading this morning. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. More details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
See every smile, every milestone, every moment that matters most. From the moment you walk into Shopko Optical, you'll feel welcomed, valued, and genuinely cared for. The team at Shopko Optical takes time to understand your concerns, explain your options, and answer questions so you feel confident in your care. Whether you're due for a comprehensive eye exam or looking for the right eyewear, they're here to support your vision and eye health every step of the way. Create your personalized eye care plan. Visit shopko.com today.
Save big in all of your electrical projects when you shop at Menards. Zero Wire is an American-owned leading manufacturer of electrical building wire for residential, commercial, and industrial applications. Menards stocks convenient pre-cut lengths of wiring products for both indoor and outdoor projects. Save big on electrical wire and cable products at Menards. Plus, visit Menards.com to view our weekly flyer and check out all of the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. A marathon has ended here for the Brewers. 18 games, 17 days. The team now at the All-Star break with 59 wins, the most ever for a Brewers team at the All-Star break, all while dropping 3 straight to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Those games being played in Pittsburgh.
Right, they deserve every bit. They got a good ball club. They had great pitching. 2 guys bumping 100 miles an hour for 6 innings both days and executing. So they deserve it. They kept us under control, and they got big hits.
That's Brewers manager Pat Murphy. Meanwhile, Jacob Mizorowski and William Contreras in Philadelphia for All-Star festivities. Miz is not going to pitch, however, citing arm fatigue. He was scratched from his start on Sunday in Pittsburgh. The Bucks Summer League continues tonight in Las Vegas, a game that begins against the Phoenix Suns at 9 o'clock. And we're down to 4 in the World Cup. Just 4 teams left here. You've got Argentina taking on England in a semifinal match. That'll be on Wednesday. Spain and France will meet on the pitch tomorrow. You're right. It has gone rather quickly. Very entertaining, but you're down to Argentina. All 4 teams have won a men's World Cup before. The 4 teams remaining have all done it before. Amazingly, only 8 countries ever have won a men's World Cup.
And that'll remain the case again this time.
That is true.
Let's check the roads now. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. We do have an issue right now on 43 northbound, right at the ramp from Brown Deer Road. We've got the left lane and the left shoulder blocked right now due to a vehicle fire. This was happening just a few moments ago before we went into the break before the news. Right now, it looks like the fire itself has been put out. However, you're still going to have a lot of wet spots on the left lane, so it's been blocked off. You'll have to shift over to the far right lane to get past this. Actually, it looks like a cop car has now come by and is partially blocking that center lane as well. So this is right on 43 North at Brown Deer Road. Once you get past the vehicle fire site, you are then free and clear. Elsewhere, 4145 still going to be slow south of Appleton Avenue all the way down towards Burleigh. Northbound, the delays have picked back up again from Highway 100 up towards Capitol Drive. And the only other slow spot right now is going to be right around the stadium, as it's been the case all afternoon. 35th Street westbound over to Mitchell Boulevard.
Heat advisory begins at noon on Tuesday and expires at 8 o'clock Wednesday night. You're feeling it today, however, with the temperatures hitting about 95 degrees. Heat index getting close to 100. Overnight low 74. Tomorrow's high 98 official, but Lindsay Slater said don't rule out the idea that 100 could be reached for the air temperature, which means the heat index will be north of that. No rain in the forecast until Friday late. It's hot in Milwaukee, 95 degrees at 2:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Adam Roberts.
Happy to have you with us here. It's a Monday edition of Wisconsin's Midday News. Greg and Adam with you for the bulk of the week here. Jessica off this week. It was, I should say, her birthday over the weekend, so just taking the whole week off then. Happy birthday.
Happy belated birthday, Jessica.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
President Donald Trump saying moments ago that he would like South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster to appoint Lindsey Graham's sister, Darlene Graham Nordone, to serve the remainder of the late senator's term. Lindsey Graham passed away over the weekend at the age of 71. One Republican familiar with McMaster's plan said the governor intends to appoint Nordone to serve in the Senate for the rest of the year. We'll see how it plays out. The endorsement of Donald Trump certainly is a big deal, and perhaps nobody knows Lindsey Graham better than his sister, Darlene Graham Nordone. So she would represent the state of South Carolina, which Graham did for over 20 years before his passing, and likely be a caretaker of his thoughts and ideas with the potential that she could ultimately win that seat and be a long-term solution. So that's kind of breaking news right now. People were waiting to see what President Trump would have to say about this, if he had a clear front runner, somebody he wanted to appoint. Likely no shortage of candidates or people interested in that opportunity in South Carolina. But it does appear that President Trump is endorsing Lindsey Graham's sister, Darlene Graham Nardone, to serve the remainder of the late senator's term.
And also the president today ordering that flags on federal buildings and on naval vessels also going to be at half staff in memory of Graham, who at multiple points was very close with the president. He was emotional on Fox earlier today talking about Graham's memory. Meanwhile, our number 2, Greg, here at the 2 o'clock hour, also concerning the president, making news this morning indicating the U.S. is reinstating a blockade of Iranian ships in the Strait of Hormuz. Posting on Truth Social earlier today, the president said the blockade would only be targeting Iran. However, the other note in that post is that the U.S., according to the president, is to be reimbursed a 20% toll on all eligible cargo shipped through the strait. The president did not say how that would be enforced, this 20% toll, but was on Fox News and said the U.S. would take control of the strait and be paid for protecting it, criticizing Tehran in the process.
Everything was agreed to yesterday, and they leave the room, and they call back and they say, we had to make a couple of changes. I said, changes? They got to make changes? We're not going to make changes.
The president on Fox and Friends earlier today, the focus of the fighting between these two sides really has honed in on this narrow strip in the Middle East, this strait through which a fifth of the world's oil and gas passed through before the war began earlier this year. We've been monitoring the stock market all day today, reacting to this news, and it's been, by and large, in the red. The Dow, the Nasdaq, and the S&P still all with big losses today. The Nasdaq, the biggest loser among them. Meanwhile, on the uptick is the price of crude oil right now, sitting at around 8.7% higher today. That's $77 roughly a barrel. Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan saying gas prices could continue to climb now as these escalations drag on, and we will remain to be seen again on how this toll would be enforced. It's unclear how that would be and how this blockade would hold. Iran has said they are taking control and closing the strait, so it is a little bit of a he said, she said going on here.
2:13 on WTMJ. Coming up next, you'll never believe what's making a comeback among some Gen Z young adults.
It's a winning explosion at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This July, Winplosion rockets in, bursting with $300,000 in cash and reward play. For your shot at winning, just play with your rewards card. Then join us for the Thursday night prize drawings. Plus, every Winplosion entry also counts toward the big WinFest Grand Finale in September. It's Winplosion. Big bang, big bucks. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Well, the folks at Gruber Law Offices know if you've been hurt in an accident, your world can be flipped upside down. They stand up for victims. They take the burden off your shoulders. They fight your legal battle while you focus on healing. That is Gruber. They've been doing it for 40 years here in the state of Wisconsin. It's a family-owned company, but they've got a large and powerful team, 30-plus attorneys ready to go to work for you. And with Gruber, no cost to call, no fee, no cost to consult or retain their firm. There never is with Gruber until they win your case, and it's what they've been doing now for 40 years, making a difference and helping those in the community. It's Gruber. Check them out online at gruber-law.com. Learn about the firm, learn about what they do in the community each and every month of every year. Always finding ways to give back and support community initiatives. That's Gruber, 414-276-6666.
For more than a century, Curative Care has been helping children, adults, and families across southeast Wisconsin navigate developmental disabilities and find the support they need to thrive. Curative helps families every step of the way, from early childhood through adulthood, connecting parents with resources, providing guidance during challenging times, and creating a community where people truly belong. If you know someone who may be looking for answers and support for a loved one with developmental disabilities, visit curative.org today.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty each weekday.
This is a deep cut. I like this song. I'm gonna buy this song, so tell me what it is.
Nobody does it like McFarlane. It's AI generated 90s R&B featuring our favorite Chief Washington correspondent. It's you, buddy.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with our Wisconsin's Midday News podcast, powered by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
Heat advisory goes into effect at noon tomorrow and expires at 8 o'clock Wednesday night. High temperature today, 95 degrees. Heat index close to 100. Overnight low, 74 muggy degrees. Tomorrow, air temperature could hit 100. Heat index over 100. It's going to be nasty here throughout the course of the week. Next chance of rain appears to be in the evening hours on Friday. 95 and hot in Milwaukee at 216. Well, you'll never guess what's making a comeback among some Gen Z young adults.
Pogs?
Smoking. Cigarettes, that is. Vaping remains a pretty big concern here when it comes to nicotine use among younger individuals, but doctors at University of Virginia Health say starting to notice a troubling shift here. Cigarettes are beginning to regain some appeal with those in their late 20s. So why? What is happening here, or what's not happening here? Time to welcome back our favorite healthy living expert. It's Paul Fulford joining us. If you're streaming live, you'll notice Paul's joined our video stream. Text WATCH to 855-616-1620. Hey, Paul.
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, thanks for joining us here. So I saw the headline. I had to dig into this a little bit, but curious to understand from your perspective, what are the factors leading to cigarette smoking tilting back towards being fashionable versus a health risk?
Yeah, it's one of those stories that makes you do a double take, isn't it? You know, for 20 odd years, the line has been trending down, right? And overall, I would say U.S. adult smoking rate has hit a historic low at about 9%, which is down nearly 42% back from 1965. But the part that fascinates me is that this generation is not ignorant to the causes of disease that come from cigarette smoking. It's not confused about the science of this generation. The biggest thing that's really weird about it too is that it's not teenagers, it's young adults out of school, out in the world. You know, for some reason, the cigarette has become quietly, cool again. And I think if you look at it, it's one of those things where this generation has lived their entire lives being tracked, optimized, filtered, and algorithmed. And a cigarette is one of those things that isn't curated. It's messy. It's analog. Nobody's counting your steps or streaks. And it's a little ritual you can do with your hands in the real world offline.
What I find so fascinating, and I've seen those Truth anti-smoking commercials for years, and every time, Paul, I see one of these ads, I kind of do a little bit of just a cringe. I recoil a little bit. They reek sometimes of trying way too hard. Clearly they were made and written by someone who's like, well, this is what people want to see, and this will be funny, and I am telling you this is funny. Has this backfired completely and maybe is now causing maybe some sort of, don't preach to me, I'm going to go and do the exact opposite of what you're telling me to do here?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. I think it's that bit of that old anti-smoking playbook that they never saw coming, right? We spent decades making smoking uncool by making it unglamorous. The message is that it was gross and it's something your unfashionable uncle does in the car park, right? And more or less that's what we thought. But something is flipped. Now you've got the aesthetics. People talk about this indie sleaze or this Y2K nostalgia, that whole grainy, glamorous, slightly messy look. You had Brat Summer a couple years back. Bringing the cigarette back is a fashion accessory now, unfortunately. And crucially, it plays a beautifully like on screen, like a cigarette photographs well. It's got smoke, it's got a red tip, the whole century of movie glamour baked into it. So the very thing that was supposed to be authentic and offline becomes content now.
And perhaps trucker hats and flannels will be coming back before too long as well. You mentioned the numbers there, Paul, which I think are very interesting. I think you said, about 51% of people smoked in 1965, down to like 9% now. And along with that, you've noticed that a significant reduction in anti-smoking advertising, right? I'm wondering if the anti-vaping campaigns have sort of unintentionally caused cigarette-specific warnings to become a little less prominent or maybe even forgotten.
Well, the vaping, it was interesting. The marketing when the vaping became prevalent was at the teenagers, right? And it was an alternative, and it was something that they did that was kind of cool. And I think that, there's been a lot of things showing about popcorn along with that. So it's off the vaping. It's almost this rebellious thing. It's like, we think about James Dean, Rebel Without a Cause, right? Like smoking. I almost feel like this generation is just being so rebellious. And I think when you look at it, like one thing that really stuck with me when you look at some of the studies that came out is there's a doctor that mentioned this in UVA, Dr. Melissa Little, who runs the Tobacco Research Center there. She put it in a way that stuck with me. She said smoking has become a symbol of pre-digital authenticity, right? So it's kind of like, when you talk to these 20-somethings, they're like, oh, I'll worry about my health 20 years from now. But what we've shown with cigarette smoke is the multitude of diseases that come along with it. I had a father that smoked my whole life. And when he passed, he had fluid in his heart, fluid in his lungs. He had a mild heart attack. His kidneys were functioning at 10%. He had gangrene in his foot. He had a multitude of health issues, and he always smoked. So the evidence is pretty clear about what smoking does and how unhealthy it is. Plus, it just stinks, right? Like, I felt like one of the things that's been nice lately without the cigarettes and having this dip is that you can go outside and get fresh air, where you used to be able to you would go outside and it smelled like an ashtray.
So then what, Paul, needs to be the response from not just anti-smoking organizations, but health organizations as well? You mentioned off the top here that our young people are so used to being tracked, analyzed, used as data figures in these studies, and they're smart too. They know this. And so what is the response then from those who are getting this message of don't smoke out?
I would say that we've got to find ways to reach them, right? And again, if they're being anti-digital now, there's got to be some way to put this, message in front of them that is like, hey, I understand you're not thinking about your health now, but like diabetes starts in your late 20s, chronic, heart disease, all of the issues, Alzheimer's, all of these things start now. And as somebody who's a biohacker and somebody who had their own health issues that looks at things from a preventative perspective versus a reactionary one. If you look at, we're just managing decline with a lot of healthcare things. You've got to look at the bigger picture. So we have to find a way to reach them in a way that's like, hey, you can be rebellious, but why is it smoking that's doing this? Because this is the same generation that has stopped drinking as much because they see even though drinking is legal, they see the health issues that come along with drinking. It destroys your stomach biome, right? So they've been anti-drinking and healthier. The fact that you can sit there and just say, oh, I'll worry about it in 20 years. No, the things that we do right now affect us now and it affects us later. So we have to reach them at a place where it's like, hey, I understand that this is something that may look cool or it's, nostalgic, but just because that's the case, how long do you want to live, right? And it's the age-old battle that we have with the generation. Like, I was rebellious when I was younger. I'm sure the two of you were too, right? So it's just finding a way to meet them in this happy medium and say, hey, don't do this because X, Y, Z is going to happen. And if you do it, you're the only one that has to take the blame for it.
Healthy living expert Paul Fulford joining us here on Wisconsin's Midday News. Paul, always appreciate your time and insight. We'll check in again soon. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Paul Fulford, frequent contributor here to Wisconsin's Midday News. A reminder that the Wisconsin's Midday News podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, and it can take us with you wherever you go. Our podcast built by Siding Unlimited. Also, hop into our studio here for the next half hour and future days. We are on YouTube. Search WTMJ and Wisconsin's Midday News on YouTube. You will find us. Hop right into our studio, comment along, and see what's going on. It's coming up on 2:25 here on WTMJ.
Accident mortgages and clause letter, animal
NMLS ID 255368.
Rates are a little stuck, but what if you could save $2,000 or more on your mortgage payment in the next year while we're waiting for 30-year fixed rates to come back down? That's exactly what we just did for Amanda, who bought her home last summer with a traditional 30-year fixed from AccuNet at 6.99. With current rates now closer to 6.5, we reached out to her with two options. Save $90 a month or just over $1,000 a year on her $226,000 loan with no loan costs, or save $2,200 in the first year while we wait for rates to come back down. She chose door number 2, which is what we're calling our Rate Buster Refi. It's a 30-year fixed rate loan with an effective rate of 5.88 for the first year and 6.88 for years 2 through 30. The APR is 6.89 with 25% equity and all the other right stuff. Hey, don't just sit there waiting. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and find out how much you can save with the traditional no loan cost refi or our new Rate Buster Refi. That's ACCUNET.com.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the July Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save now during the Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
Hey, for 70 years, the folks at Geis have been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. If you got a busted garage door, don't sweat it. Call my friends at Geis today. They have incredible inventory and wonderful brands like CHI and LiftMaster in stock, ready to go. Doors and openers for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. We had a minor issue with the weather stripping going around the perimeter of our garage door, and Geis came out and said, no problem. Greg will fix it. Took him like an hour, and it was done. We were back to square thanks to Geis. Swift and reliable garage repair solutions are available for you with a call to Geis or a visit to geisdoors.com or a stop by of their showroom in Brookfield just off Barker Road. If you got kind of a nagging issue and you feel like you just need to make a simple phone call, Geis can maybe walk you through a troubleshooting solution over the phone. That's right. It could save you a little bit of time and a little money. That's Geis in a nutshell. Service, quality, great brands, wonderful inventory, and a quick turnaround time for your project. And a custom design center. Don't think twice. Call Geis and visit geisdoors.com.
Wholesale mulch? No problem. We deliver to residential or wholesale accounts, and we can supply you with whatever volume of the highest quality mulch you need. Nobody around here has more mulch than Erickson's. We'll deliver you a 1-yard pickup truck load all the way up to 100 yards in a walking floor trailer. And if you just need a little bit, swing by and we'll fill up a 5-gallon bucket or two. It's the best mulch you'll find. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our decorative stone is available by the handful for pickup, all the way up to 24-ton load deliveries. And our stone is superlative. We scour the countryside, countrywide, from Arizona to the Carolinas. We search pretty much the whole U.S. of A. to find you easily the best stone selection in southeastern Wisconsin. See a rainbow of decorative stone colors to match any exterior decor. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special?
The welcomeness. People are so friendly. If you have a problem, you can go to anybody. The community and the sense of safety provided for my mom and dad, and it's just like the most wonderful place to be.
They're just delightful, everyone. I don't see staff, I see friends. Oh. And I really do feel that.
And you couldn't live in more beautiful grounds.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
I'm Libby Collins. This week on WTMJ Conversations, we talk with the former director of music at the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, Ken David Masur.
We would witness every week
during our rehearsals that more and more people would gather for the Monday demonstrations. And of course, then in October, there was order given from the government to shoot down protesters.
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, July 13th. Your top story, pleading not guilty in the attempted kidnapping of a Fond du Lac mother and her toddler.
I'm Adam Roberts. Debate grows over the future of I-794.
Sunny, hot, and humid today, high 95. It's currently 94 in Milwaukee.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Happening now in the Senate, lawmakers are honoring Senator Lindsey Graham. The 71-year-old died suddenly last weekend. A vase full of white roses adorning his desk. Senator John Thune on the floor says Graham's impact in Congress will not soon be forgotten and called him a force for good.
It's difficult to believe that Lindsey Graham is no longer here with us, that we won't run into him at a media day or share a joke with him at this afternoon's vote. The halls of the Senate already feel empty without him.
Preliminary findings from the medical examiner shared by Graham's office show that he died from a tear in his aorta stemming from heart disease. The White House has formalized its re-engagement in the war in Iran, notifying Congress on July 10th last week of renewed military action. That according to a copy of the notice obtained by ABC News. The White House makes a point of saying that ground forces will not be used in this operation. On Wall Street, stocks are trading lower. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News time is 2:31.
The man accused of trying to kidnap a woman and her child in Fond du Lac pleads not guilty by reason of mental disease.
Miles Yeager faces felony charges of attempted kidnapping and false imprisonment. The man from Rosendale allegedly tried to kidnap a 27-year-old woman while she was pushing her 1-year-old in a stroller along the Mascoutin State Trail last month. The woman said Yeager grabbed her by the neck and tried to force a cloth over her mouth. Police later found several feet of rope inside Yeager's car. He's due back in court for a bail hearing on Friday. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A woman is dead after drowning in Lake Michigan. Callers reporting the body floating towards shore near Juniper Drive and Evergreen in the town of Wilson on Sunday. The 80-year-old woman was found unconscious by the sheriff's office. Residents nearby say they saw the woman walking in the water, and authorities say she likely drowned accidentally or had a medical event while in the lake.
The bodies of 3 missing boaters located in western Wisconsin. Authorities have been conducting a wide-scale search for the boaters since the pontoon they were on overturned in a collision with a commercial barge Saturday night on Lake Pepin. The identities of the 3 boaters has not yet been released.
Last week, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson shared his official opinion over the future of I-794 between the Marquette Interchange and the lakefront. Today, the debate growing at Milwaukee City Hall.
3 Milwaukee Common Council members are publicly pushing back against Mayor Cavalier Johnson's preferred plan for I-794. Alderman Alex Brower, Alderman Bob Bauman, and Alderwoman Charlene Moore say they support tearing down the elevated freeway and replacing it with a street-level boulevard. The group says the move would create about 16 acres of land for housing and development, grow Milwaukee's tax base, and better connect downtown with the lakefront and historic 3rd Ward. Their statement comes after Mayor Johnson voiced support last week for rebuilding the existing elevated freeway. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Well, don't get scammed while planning your summer vacation. Consumer expert Michelle Reinen tells WTMJ about a recent hotel scam that's popping up.
This consumer booked a hotel room for a family event, but later learned by calling the hotel's front desk that the room they thought they booked had never happened. Instead, the consumer had accidentally booked this room on a fraudulent website that looked identical to the real hotel's page, and as a result, they lost their money, and then they had no lodging.
Reinen recommends booking a hotel directly through the hotel's website instead of clicking on an ad you see on social media.
The All-Star break begins for the Brewers. Sports, traffic, and weather on the way next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News time is 2:34.
You know how fast summer flies by in Wisconsin, and before you know it, you'll be pulling into a dark driveway every evening. While you're soaking up what's left of summer, make plans to not be left in the dark when that day comes. Now is the perfect time to transform your home with professionally designed outdoor lighting from Blingle. Whether you're looking for elegant landscape lighting to showcase your home's beauty, improve safety, and extend your outdoor living space, or you'd like permanent roofline lighting that gives you stunning, app-controlled lighting for every season, Blingle has you covered. Their custom lighting systems are energy efficient, professionally installed, and designed to make your home stand out every night of the year. Don't wait until the sun starts setting much earlier. Schedule your free consultation today and see what your home looks like when it's truly Blingled. Visit blingle.com/MKE. That's blingle.com/MKE.
When you want the best medical attention, you don't just go to anybody, you go to a specialist. The same should be true with your car or truck. I'm Deb Cruz, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee. When your vehicle needs service, take it to a specialist, an Adam member new car dealer. Adam dealers use factory warranty parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians specially trained on the advanced technology on your vehicle. They have all the latest manufacturer service bulletins and will know if your issue is covered by an existing warranty or if there are any recalls. And despite what you might assume, their prices are as low or even lower than the independent shops, even on routine maintenance and tires. Now, knowing all that, why would you even consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
Get an oil change and safety inspection for trouble-free summer driving. Visit adam.com to find the Adam member dealer.
This report sponsored by Exterior Pros and Baths. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation. Don't just upgrade, transform your home. From bold exteriors to breathtaking baths, Exterior Pros makes it happen. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. The Brewers enter the All-Star break after dropping 3 in a row to the Pirates in Pittsburgh.
There's a lot of things went against us, but credit the Pirates. They did a great job pitching, and they did a great job of doing what they had to do.
Nevertheless, Pat Murphy's Brewers own the second best record in all of baseball, 59-37 at the All-Star break. Pitcher Jacob Mizorowski and catcher William Contreras in Philadelphia for this week's All-Star festivities. Miz is not going to pitch, however, citing arm fatigue. In fact, Miz is not scheduled to pitch in the opening series of the unofficial second half of the season, which begins Friday against the Marlins. Summer League play continues for the Bucks tonight in Las Vegas, taking on the Phoenix Suns, and it's down to the Final Four in the World Cup semifinal match tomorrow between Spain and France. Wednesday, Argentina will face England.
Let's check the roads now. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Some good news on 43 North. We had that earlier vehicle fire that was blocking the left lane and left shoulder on 43 northbound right near Brown Deer Road. Does look like the work has, for the most part, wrapped up on this. In any case, all 3 lanes are back open once again for you to drive. Just maybe one lingering law enforcement vehicle out there on the left shoulder. Everything else looks like it has been taken care of on that front. Speaking of 43, though, we are starting to see volume picking up heading southbound. First stretch you're going to tap the brakes on is going to be from Good Hope all the way down towards Silver Spring, and you'll encounter some more delays starting to build right near Fond du Lac Avenue, going through the Marquette towards the high-rise bridge. And then 4145 is heavy from Good Hope Road through the construction zone south to Capitol Drive, north from Watertown Plank Road up to Burleigh, and 94 west right around the stadium still remains a little bit slow from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard.
Heat advisory goes into effect at noon tomorrow and wraps up at 8 o'clock Wednesday night. 95 your high today. Could touch 100 tomorrow with that heat index pushing north of 100 degrees. Similar situation on Wednesday. Next chance of rain appears to be in the evening hours on Friday. But we're in the mid to upper 90s all week long here as the heat dome settles in. It's 95 in Milwaukee, approaching 239. So it's a busy weekend off the field for the Milwaukee Brewers. They had selected 20 players in the MLB draft. This is over the weekend, and some notable names on the list. So the first-round draft pick, his name is Trey Ebel. He was the Brewers' first-round pick at number 25 overall. Last year, they selected his brother Brady with the 32nd overall pick.
I thought the last name sounded familiar.
Yeah, both from Corona, California. Another notable name here, when you see Sabathia on anything Brewers, it perks your attention. Milwaukee selected CC Sabathia's kid in the 20th round. But prior to that, in the 17th round, the Brewers selected one of the top high school players in the state of Wisconsin, Shortstop Chance Ruby from Wilmot Union High School in Kenosha County, selected by your Milwaukee Brewers.
Great baseball name, too, by the
no
way.
doubt about that. A memorable name and a memorable day for Chance, who joins us on the line right now. Hey, Chance.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing great. So what were you doing yesterday when you found out that not only did you have a Major League Baseball team draft you, but that team was the Brewers?
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. So in the morning, I obviously woke up. My sister, we're down in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky, and my sister had a basketball game in the morning. So I was sitting there stressing out over it during that, and then we got back to the hotel. I was just chilling, and then I saw the Brewers pop up on my phone, and I couldn't believe it, honestly.
Who was on the other end of the line?
Ginger Paulson.
So he says, "Hey, Chance, how you doing? It's Ginger from the Milwaukee Brewers." What is happening to your heart rate at that point?
Oh, it was going crazy. Everyone's sitting there trying not to yell because I'm on the phone call, and I couldn't believe it. I was speechless at first, and she was so happy for me. It was awesome. It really was.
So, Chance, is there a current or maybe a former MLB player that you've emulated your play style after it all?
So I try and, play like how Bobby Witt plays. He's not a guy that hits for a big amount of power, but he's a guy that's always on base, always trying to steal bases, and I'm just trying to be the guy that's always, as Bobby is, on base,
Well, Bobby's a great middle infielder, right? Great defensive player, which you profile as well. The Brewers' angle to this thing is so fascinating to me. Right, I mean, there's 30 teams in the league that could have selected you. Chance, what are the chances that it's the Milwaukee Brewers? Did you know that you were on their radar? Did you have any discussions with them leading up to the draft?
I had an idea that there was a possibility. So in the winter prior to the draft, I went and did a Brewers workout with them, and then they came to a bunch of my games out in high school. And then I went to another workout for them, and it was just kind of quiet after that. And, yeah, I mean, I had an idea, but, it came as a surprise for sure. Good in a good way, though.
When you think about the Brewers organization, Chance, is it attractive when you have an organization that has this noted history, this noted record of developing young talent just across the board, but specifically pitching talent? It always seems there's good young arms coming up through single A, double A, triple A, and then ultimately playing at American Family Field. Is that an attractive thought for you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Growing up, going to all the Brewer games that I went to and just being a fan ever since I was a kid, just to be able to have an opportunity like I do right now to show what I can do, to be able to play on that stage, just gets me excited and gets me ready.
So do you have a decision to make now, Chance, because you are committed to play college baseball next year at Illinois Chicago, and you're obviously committed well before the Major League Baseball draft. Then the Brewers give you a phone call here in the 17th round and say, hey, you're our guy. Do you have to make a decision here, or have you already made up your mind what you plan to do?
It was just a no-brainer for me. I mean, given an opportunity, like I said, and especially with it being my hometown team and the team I rooted for growing up, I wouldn't want to waste the opportunity. I will take it, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna give it my all. I'm gonna put it all out there.
That is amazing. So do you believe that if it was a different team, do you think that decision would have been more difficult?
It 100% would have been, but just seeing their name and being able to represent their brand, I wasn't even a thought for me.
So we got the All-Star Week festivities going on right now. I'm actually looking at Jacob Mizorowski and Juan Soto doing an interview on Fox right now. Chance, are you going to be watching the All-Star game this weekend? Anyone you're keeping your eye on?
I am not going to be. I'm going to try and tap in here and there, but I'm still going to be with my sister's basketball game, so I will do my best to watch it as much as I can.
You're still in Kentucky?
Yes, I'm here right now. I'm honestly chilling in the parking lot right now. I'm gonna be waiting to go in.
So what is your first assignment here, right? You're committed to the Brewers now. It sounds like you'll sign and you're off and running. When does it all begin? Like when do you have to make a move here?
I head out to Phoenix on Sunday is the day that I got given earlier today. So I still have a little bit of time to, get all my clothes washed and everything all ready to go. But yeah.
So is that just sort of like, do you get into rookie ball right away? Like, how does it work? Like, do you start playing games with others who are drafted, who are choosing to sign, and maybe some international players and things like that?
I'm pretty sure. I don't fully know all the details yet, but I'm about 99% sure I'll be playing rookie ball within the next few weeks. And obviously, if I pass my physical, or when I pass my physical, then I think that's the plan.
Adam brought up pitching, right? Because you pitched a little bit in high school. If you can throw 90 miles an hour, pretty good chance that you'll end up on the mound at some point. Mm-hmm. Do you profile, or do the Brewers profile you more as an infielder chance? Is that your understanding?
Yeah, they do. At least from what I understand. I mean, I can play anywhere, and I'm willing to play anywhere. So whatever gets me out there, I'm willing to do. But the Brewers, I think they do have me as an infielder.
I'll give you a leg up for sure.
Yeah, it's fascinating, man, because 2 months ago you're doing group projects in physics, trying to get graduated and everything,
Yeah, exactly.
And now you're off to rookie ball in Arizona after being selected by the Milwaukee Brewers, your favorite team growing up.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to just I feel like it hasn't fully set in yet. Like, I'm super happy right now, but I know within the next few days I'm just going to be like, wow, this really happened. Like, all the hard work I put in, everything yeah, it's cool.
Well, it's been pretty amazing. When I played high school baseball, it was very rare for somebody from Wisconsin, especially out of high school, to be drafted. Some good high school talent went on to college and then, of course, into major league programs. But it seems like it's becoming increasingly common chance for people like yourself, and I'm sure there's a lot of others from the high school ranks who likely know very well, who were selected over the weekend. There's a nice developing pool of talent here in Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, that is cool. Chance, congratulations, man. It could not have been more of an exciting weekend for you. I can only imagine being in your shoes when you look at the area code that hits your phone over the weekend and understanding that it's the Milwaukee Brewers on the other end. That has got to be an incredible moment. What a core memory.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely never forget this moment ever. It's awesome. And I'm just honored to be able to be in the situation I am.
From Wilmot Union High School to the Milwaukee Brewers, Chance Ruby selected by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 17th round of this weekend's draft. We'll keep tabs on you, Chance. We'll check in from time to time. Hope things go well for you. Travel safe, and everybody wishes your sister the best of luck in her basketball tournament here in Kentucky.
Oh, yeah.
Well, sounds good. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys for having me on this talk show.
Yeah, great to connect with you. Chance Ruby joining us, Wilmot Union High School. You think about some local talent that have had their opportunity to play with the Brewers. Vinny Rotino comes to mind, right? From southeastern Wisconsin, the Racine area, had a marvelous high school career, ended up with the Brewers, working his way through the system and played a little bit with the Milwaukee Brewers, of course, now very much involved with the Brewers broadcasts, but he's also very much involved with scouting. So he and Chance got to know each other quite well over the last several years as he gets to watch these players really grow through the high school ranks. But Vinny was the first guy that came to mind when you're thinking about a high school kid who gets to put on the uniform of the team he cheers for growing up.
Yeah, I know that. And baseball, in terms of scouting, you think of hotbeds for high school baseball talent. Of California comes to mind, Florida, Texas, a lot of the states in the South where you can play baseball 12 months out of the year. And I wonder if that does contribute to, that there aren't as many, like a laundry list of names of Wisconsin high school baseball talents that come to mind that are playing or could potentially play for this organization. But it's great to see change. Yeah, and I like this a lot.
Wisconsin made a strategic shift at the high school level when they pulled all of baseball back to spring instead of summer. When I was in high school, you played summer baseball, which allowed me to do track and field, which I did in college. So I was thankful for that opportunity. But the way it is now, with so many travel teams that spend the bulk of their summer popping around the Midwest or even further away, some of the clubs that have existed for now several years here in the state of Wisconsin, that's where high school kids are playing baseball in the summer, not so much for their high school team. It became disruptive to the high school or to the travel schedule. So they move it to spring. The weather's not great. You're hopeful to get those games in, but really with this kind of talent, they get noticed, likely more so on their circuit when they're traveling about.
That's also crazy to think of how quick the turnaround window is, too. You get that phone call on a Sunday, and within a week, you're going to be down in Arizona, and the journey begins.
Yeah, he's only been out of high school for a month. If you think about that. Pretty cool story here. Chance Ruby here, selected by the Milwaukee Brewers. It's 2:49 on WTMJ. We'll wrap up the program with some final thoughts after this.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life. At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work. Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. Search AXIS Legal today.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
We understand it's getting harder for you to find new employees. That's why we recommend using broadcast media to our clients to help find them. And you know what? It works. For years, we've used it, and over we fill job fairs and keep a steady new flow of employees for some pretty important clients. Broadcast advertising works for employee recruitment. But with our market leverage, you'll get a lot more for your money than you'll get on your own. Anderson-Smith.com. We help businesses find new employees.
Anybody out there like political ads? I already know your answer, and it's because a lot of them are bad. Phony dialogue with the sound effects of a diner in the background, dramatic voiceovers with scary music that changes into happy, hopeful music when the candidate being pushed is described. Whatever happened to an honest pitch from a candidate that doesn't sound like they're reading, but rather expressing their genuine passion to bring about change? Use us and we'll drive that home, and voters will believe you. Anderson-Smith.com. We will help you win in the next election.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ishnala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
No matter what business you're in, as the #1 SBA lender in Wisconsin, Summit Credit Union helps your vision take shape with loan programs, great rates, and strategic solutions.
Awarded the #1 SBA lender by the Small Business Administration of Wisconsin in 2025.
Jerry Augustine from Kewanee and Jim Gantner from Fond du Lac and UW Oshkosh. And got a couple of them, right? People born and raised or calling Wisconsin home, Wisconsinites selected or ultimately playing for the Milwaukee Brewers.
And hopefully Chance Ruby, if he works his way through the farm system. Long journey still to come for Chance, but we're rooting for you, man. Hey, I want to get this before we get here to the top of the hour here on Wisconsin's Midday News. We are continuing to follow this situation with Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez, who very late yesterday fired her campaign manager after the campaign says they discovered serious problems with campaign finance reports, including, quote, serious mismanagement and inaccuracies, rather. We are expecting to hear from the Lieutenant Governor at around the 3 o'clock hour, right off the top of the hour. She has planned this press conference to discuss the situation. I can't tell you what she is going to say, or if she is going to address questions that will be asked or refer those questions somewhere else. But having to answer and go at least in front of the microphone for what's going on. Kara Spencer, her campaign manager, fired over the weekend, very late yesterday. No allegations as of yet of criminal intent by her campaign manager, nor that there have been any contributions that have gone missing, have been misplaced. There's nothing like that yet. And the Rodriguez campaign was in touch with the Ethics Commission earlier today. So we'll be interesting to see as we approach the top of the hour here what is said and maybe more importantly, Greg, what isn't said about the situation.
Yeah, two ways to handle it, right? You could do a press release. You could send it a press release, and that would likely be a little ambiguous and likely had to a lot of questions for people on Sarah Rodriguez, her campaign. Can you trust Sarah moving forward if she employed somebody who did something so wrong? And what was that thing? The conversation continues. By coming out and doing this, she has an opportunity to kind of put it to rest and focus forward on the debate and so on, and maybe avoid some political sanctions. I'm not sure exactly what could happen. I guess it depends, what was done here. But she's got an opportunity to be very transparent about it today.
My guess, if I had to make a hypothesis about what could go down here, we could see her lay out, this is what we know, and this is what I, as a person of action, have done to address the matter. And as it was discussed earlier today, that could be a way you spin this around into a win, even if in all indications are right now, it is anything but that for the lieutenant governor. So again, that's expected here in just a couple of minutes. And if we get that press conference, we'll have it for you here on WTMJ.
It's 2:55.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin, Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin, the buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't.